Welcome to a view from the South Stand TV, Southview Quiz. You got me, Marlon. You got to my right, has to me, man, and you got Ashmatic later on. Well, this is the first we'll meet up.
I know, right? It was weird, bro. We're in person. It's like, whoa, what's going on here? Like, used to looking at a screen, my eyes going square, but yeah. It's all good, man.
Yeah, man. It's mad. Actually, here,
rolling into one. Oh my God, I can't believe it. But
Yeah.
Spurs have brought us here.
Yeah, man. It's been a long time coming, to be fair. So, yeah.
100%, man. No, it's been up and down since what?
Since Conte arrived. Look,
Yeah.
I started this channel when Conte arrived, Leeds first game, and that was it. And now we're here. Big Ange.
Damn.
How many matches we had?
Four of Ange. Yeah.
Ange, and we're still going strong.
Yeah.
Going strong.
Cool, man.
Crazy.
Hit the 1,000.
Yeah, this is what we're here for, man. We said might as well just do a quick link up. Celebration, man. The trio. The trio came in together, and now we're here to talk about all things Spurs, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, most things Spurs. Let's see how it goes. But
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, big up to all the 1,000. Well, all the people that signed up. We love it. It's helped us get here. Now to the next step. We're gonna bring you more and more content. We're doing stuff. So let's begin.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. So
It's all about the followers, man. It's all about everyone that's following us, all the subscribers. We wouldn't be sitting here without any of those people. Let's be honest, yeah. So big up to you guys, man. Honestly.
Cool, man. So where do you want to start off, guys?
Well,
So much to talk about, really.
jeez, it's a shame. Look, it's a shame the international break has come so soon. Because
Yeah, definitely.
you know what? 4 games. It's been. Everyone's like raving. 4 games. We've been doing so well, and then that dreaded international break comes. Like, no, it's like.
Do you not think is it a new manager bounce? Are we like, because everyone's gassed right now, everyone's all hyped up, energy's hyped, and like we got some people in the fan base that are like waiting for the car crash, waiting for things to go wrong, because obviously we've got PTSD. I get it, from Conte, not even before Conte, before Mourinho, just in general.
Look,
we've
it's a
been
Levy
Spurs
thing, innit?
fans for all our lives, right? So like you said, Marlon, just that Daniel Levy curse at the moment is just hanging over our heads.
Do you know what? Right, I look at it like this. Big Ange has just changed everything. Like the culture, he's brought the fans together. The last manager that I can think of who was exactly like this was Martin, right? And I think Big Ange is going to be the downfall of Daniel Levy, because I don't think it matters how we do. Like, let's be honest. When we come up against the Goons in a couple of weeks and Liverpool, we're not expected to win those,
Yeah, it's true.
right? As long as what everyone's seeing enjoyable football. Now, Celtic fans would have told us that it's going to take time, but we've seen a dramatic turn.
Yeah.
Dramatic within the first, well, not even the first game. As soon as that first friendly was against West Ham, you saw the difference.
Well, I mean, my question is, do you think things could go real sour real quick? Because we saw what happened against Fulham. Fulham came along and the energy just changed so quickly. It was mad. Like, and I feel like, I'm not saying it's going to change against Arsenal, because Arsenal we never really do against. We don't really do well at Emirates or even at Highbury back in the day.
2 wins.
So yeah, stats tell its own story.
I think you got a point, because after that Fulham game, just changed. It was like
pendulum.
It's just on Ange. But you know what really done it for me? It's like what Harry Kane said yesterday about Tottenham Hotspur and the culture. And so many people just turned on him. It was just like,
Crazy.
Harry Kane's this, Harry Kane.
Crazy.
Don't talk about my club. It's almost like people forget like what this guy's done.
But the other day, man was like, "Oh, Kane, Son can never be Kane. This, that, the other. The amount of goals he scored for us, that all-time scorer."
Mad for
And then now, all of a sudden, yeah, Kane, we don't need him, and like he should have been like that when he was at our club. Where's this energy now? And he's gone to a Farmers League. Like, where's the pressure in the Farmers League? It's funny that he's saying all of this.
You know what I love? I love when people call German league the Farmers League, right? And yet, come up against Bayern Munich, we all get battered.
Yeah. Come against RB Leipzig, we have problems.
We got battered.
But does that make our league a Farmers League, because who's won the title in Premiership
this
for the last 4 years?
This is the problem.
Last 4 years.
This is what you have to think. Everyone goes, "Oh, you always get one winner," but who's winning it this year? Who's winning it last year?
Man
Who's
City,
winning it
Man
year
City,
before?
Man City.
Exactly.
It's
Look,
mad.
good luck to Kane, man. Like, you know, he's gone out there. He's doing his thing, but
I think he feels a bit bitter though.
You reckon that's what it is? That's why he came out with that comment.
Yeah, he's bitter, and it's the way. Look, his leaving statement, right? Usually clubs. Let's look at Neves, right? The way he left Wolves. He's only been there for how long?
Yeah,
Tottenham pushed him, Kane out the door.
yeah.
Like they couldn't give a flying monkeys about.
My man changed the locks.
Yeah.
You get me? Got the locksmith to
It was
come
like-
in. It's like, wait a minute, raw. Man's all banned from the training ground. Nah, they were moving mad. To me, I thought it was a bit crazy still.
The whole thing was crazy. Like I looked at it and went, "Why the hell? You're treating your best player like that." Yeah, Daniel Levy obviously had a grudge because he's like, "Why you?" He's look at this thing. Why are you leaving my club?
Yeah,
But you're the reason why he's leaving. There's no other reason behind it.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, but at least give the man a send off.
It's true.
And that's the one thing. Like, I'm not surprised. And all these comments he's coming out with, I'm like, fair point.
You could.
is he stating a fact though? Because he's coming out about the culture of the club, like he's stating facts. But I think if we didn't have this thing with Ange at the moment, right? Like, you know, playing good football, winning games and stuff, do you think people will react the same way? Because now that we're on this nice sort of journey
Good
with
point.
Ange, yeah,
Good point.
everyone's like, yeah, Harry, you can't say that. Harry, like, you know, you're not one of us, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know,
Yeah, no, I hear you.
I just feel like, you know, if things went south, would people still...
I don't know. Like, people are passionate about their club either way. So, if things have been going bad and then he put the knife in, I don't know. People still would have been bitter. Just what I'm trying to say. Like, man could be relegation, and then he came out and was like, "Yeah, the pressure at Tottenham's not the same as Bayern Munich. I like that pressure every single game. You know, you got to turn up." So I look at it both ways. You could cut it either way, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but like talking about send offs, Hugo Lloris. It's mad. Was he our best goalkeeper in the Premier League?
It's a hard one, you know. We've had a couple.
He
but-
said yes. For someone said a couple.
There's no one been better than Lloris. I can't there's other goalkeepers that I've liked. Don't get me wrong, but Lloris for me is the best goalkeeper we've had in the Premier League. Just what he's achieved throughout his career, right at Spurs, and even internationally, there's no one better. Like if you went through our goalkeepers like Ian Walker, Paul Robinson, Gomez, Friedel was at the end of his career, which was unfortunate. Eric Toulsvet was my favourite goalkeeper. By the way.
I like
But
that.
Great. It was great.
Yeah, it
Hugo
was.
Lloris for me, longest serving, captain, World Cup winner. You can't judge it on the last 2 years. That's Spurs' problem, not Lloris.
Yeah. I agree with you. I can't go back as far as Pat Jennings because that was at my time.
Yeah.
But I'm saying Premier League area. I'm
Yeah.
saying Premier League area.
League era, yeah, I have to give him his props. Look, 10 years at the club. That's no mean feat, you know. 10 years at the club. And do you know what? Some of his saves, like some of his performances really got us out of jail. Like the one that really sticks out for me is the one in the Champions League where he made that double save.
Leverkusen.
Yeah, Leverkusen.
Yeah.
My word,
Yeah.
that for me, that's the one that sticks out. But you know what? It happens with keepers. Like they lose their ability over time. You know, that elasticity goes. You can't say he's not been a good servant to the club, but I just think we need to be giving these players a good send off because. But if we're barring Harry Kane from the training ground and coming and getting his stuff,
This is what I'm saying, my broski. That's what I'm saying. At least a little testimonial send off as he's saying, "Raw, I don't really want to," because he said he had a chance and said, "Raw, I want everyone to come to the pre-season tour so everyone can jump on the plane." And he said, "Nah, I don't want to go. I want to kind of look for a club myself while that's going on."
He's been saying no to everybody. So it's been like the weirdest situation to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go Inter. I don't want to go Nice. Where's he going to end up?
Don't want to go Lazio either.
No.
Yeah, he's just rejecting everyone left, right, and centre. His chest is way too high, but obviously, you got to realise that at a certain age, you're not going to be number one.
You have to admire his passion though, because he wants to be number one, right? He's obviously he looks at himself in a different way to everyone else. Like he's a World Cup winner. He's captain France for how long? He's captain Tottenham Hotspur. He still thinks he can do a job for someone. So I don't blame him because he's been a top keeper for years. So it might be a case that he's in denial at the moment because
This is what I'm saying.
he's had such a long and successful career I will say that
Ego.
because he's won the World
It's
Cup.
ego.
Do you think though, when you say denial, right? Is it a case of the clubs that are coming in for him? He's thinking they're not at a top level. I should be number one. Because let's take Premier League, right? Could he get into most Premier League sides number one right now?
Yeah.
Probably yes.
Yeah,
Right.
fair enough.
Could he get into a Europe? Like he could probably be Chelsea's number one right now, right? If we looked at it, and you look at some of the other clubs, but with Hugo, I think it's a reality check to go in. Where do you want to go? If you want to go back home, then just go home. But if you want to go somewhere in Europe, you're not going to get a top club.
He had that chance to go home though. I mean, Nice coming for him.
That was a strange one.
He didn't agree with the project, so
Yeah.
I think he thinks he's got another like top signing in him. I think he's still got. That's what I think. That's why he's turning teams down. Why other reason why he turned those other teams down? Doesn't make no sense to me.
Well, if you think about it, last season, right? Yeah, he made mistakes, right?
Yeah.
But that was because he was being put under so much pressure by
Getting
defense,
peppered
right?
left, right, and centre.
yeah.
But there were certain games last year that everyone forgets. I think it was Man United away where he completely saved us.
Yeah.
So he obviously can still play at a certain level, but
Yeah.
He had the injury as well. Let's not forget last season.
yeah,
Yeah,
he did.
Foster
true.
come in.
Yeah, that was at Brentford, wasn't it? When he
He had injuries and stuff. Look, that's no excuse like for some of his performances. Like when he started getting beat at his near post, that's when I thought, you know what, these mistakes are becoming too common. Like, you can't be getting beat at your near post. That's just a no-no. You know what I mean?
Facts.
But props to him. We saw them lot down the road just today or yesterday. They ripped up a certain player's contract that cost £72 million.
Man, like
British
Pepe.
pounds.
What would you say is a bigger flop in your opinion, Has? I want to get your
I know
take.
where this is going. I know where this is going.
Come on, you just set it up, my broski. Like, I have to talk about it. Who's a bigger flop, Pepe or Ndembele?
Right. I've got to say it straight out the bat, yeah. I think Pepe got something like 27 goals for Arsenal. Okay.
Come on with the facts, you know. Go on.
I know my facts. 27 goals. I don't know. I think Ndombele probably less than 10, maybe a couple of assists here and there. But in general, he's been at the club for 4 years. And
How long has Pepe been there for? Do you know?
Since 2019.
So,
So 4 years as well.
okay.
They both came at the same time, didn't
Okay.
they?
You got to say, value for money. Arsenal probably got more for their money out of Pepe than we have out of Ndombele because he's costing us over 200 grand a week. The guy's not playing, probably not even training.
How much is
You know.
Pepe on? Do you know?
I don't know that fact, but
Do you know what though, right? You say that, right? But apart from last season, Pepe's contribution to Arsenal is probably the same amount as Ndombele, and we still finished above Arsenal within those seasons. So what's he actually contributed?
27 goals.
Over how many seasons?
4.
But isn't that a different position? Like,
Yeah. He's meant to score goals.
yeah, he's played in a kind of like a, he's in a wing forward, so he's going to be in that
True,
box a lot
true.
more. Whereas Dembele came to us, I believe, as a defensive midfielder, and then as the season went on, I think Mourinho changed it where he
Made him
pushed him
further forward.
and then he started to get the best out of him. So, but even then, he's still not expected to score goals. He's more like the creative.
Creator. Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? And so,
So you think we've got better?
no, I'm just throwing it out. I'm just saying, raw.
Without putting it into your,
Do you know what? I think it's really 50-50.
That's what I was gonna say,
When
yeah.
you weigh it up, right, everyone will look at the Ndombele, because he was our most expensive, everyone will look at it and go, but Pepe didn't achieve nothing.
It's
Literally didn't achieve nothing.
it's funny because they were both our most expensive players.
Yeah.
Arsenal's most expensive player
Up
at the
until
time.
Rice. Up until Rice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, same time, it was
Yeah.
both of our
Yeah, neck
most
and neck.
expensive player at
Yeah,
the time,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But they've gone one step ahead. They've ripped up his contract.
Yeah.
Are we thinking we should go the same route as well?
It's a hard one, man, because
they're clearly moving on. They're like, look, we don't need you anymore. You know,
They can. Can we? That's the bigger question. Can we do that in the position that we're in right now? If we suddenly lost, say, Skip and Højbjerg suddenly got injured, Ndombele would be needed. And you ripping up his contracts right now is not ideal.
all right, check this, right?
Arsenal can replace Pepe.
Check this spanner, yeah. Sorry to cut you, but you've got our players in Højbjerg. Højbjerg is our Danish destroyer, the Viking warrior, whatever you want to call it. He's like smash and grab kind of, and everyone says like, you know, he can play in the midfield free because he does in Denmark. He scored a goal as well in the international break, and so you've got a Højbjerg. But there's a lot of people saying does he suit the system? Does he play Ange ball? Then you've got someone like Ndombele, who people are saying he's lazy, doesn't run back, doesn't track back. Hardly featured in Napoli's title-winning season.
Featured more than everyone makes him out to be, though.
Good point. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, people going like he didn't play a minute, but he played.
No, he started at least.
He had some minutes under.
Yeah.
I think he started at least 11.
Yeah, and he played a lot, and he came on a sub quite.
Yeah. So out of the two now, you've got Højbjerg, obviously steady Eddie kind of, but not so attacking. And you've got an Ndombele that I think was it Gareth Bale compared him to like
Gareth, you know,
one of our greatest, one of our legends compared him to a Ronaldinho, which is mad to me. So
Wow.
So you got attacking player that is a defensive midfielder, and then you've got a defensive midfielder that played under the Conte system alongside Skip, and we had one of the worst defensive records to this date, like in the Premier League era.
Yeah.
64 goals or 63 goals.
63 goals.
63 goals is crazy. So, do you know what I mean? Is there an argument there for Ndombele versus Højbjerg? It's a hard one. I'm not expecting that.
It's a hard one, but I think
You might need another drink, bro. I'm gonna lie to you for that one.
yeah, look, he's stressed already. Look, just the talk of Ndombele, he needs another drink. Look, we had to talk about him, right? Come on. I mean, he's at Galatasaray now. Look, I think he'll suit them if he can knuckle down the pace of the Turkish league
might
and
have
stuff.
the same problem. It's his attitude,
If
isn't it?
he
Yeah,
can
that's
knuckle
what
it
it
down.
is.
I suppose they've said it with
skill set.
Sanchez for a reason. Like, I think that's why they've taken both of them. But if Galatasaray can get the best out of him, because that's what it's going to do. It's going to take a coach that wants to coach him.
Yeah.
And go, you know what? I don't give a crap about your attitude. Bit like how he was at Lyon. I don't give a crap about that part. Just go and perform on the pitch. And that's all he needs. He can't have a Mourinho. He can't have a Conte. He can't have an Ange who hasn't got time with him. But as soon as he gets that manager who goes, you know what? I need you. You come halfway. He'll produce.
But check this, guys. Pre-season, take yourself back to Brisbane or Australia, wherever it was, and Big Ange was like, I've been following Ndombele, his career, and he said something along the lines like, he wants to give him a chance. So before Lo Celso, it looked like Ndombele was about to get his chance.
Yeah.
So everyone was like bringing back the compilations of Ndombele doing his bits. And then there's a small knock during training, and all of a sudden, Ndombele's out. I don't know if you lot saw, like, there was a few things leaked where Ndombele was looking to start. He was looking to start him.
Yeah.
And then because he got that knock, all of a sudden, Lo Celso got the nod over him. Now, if he didn't get that knock, because I think it was between the two of them, was it not?
It's that sliding doors moment, isn't it?
Wasn't it? So then you think, really, was it an attitude problem? Because it looked like Ange wanted to play him.
Yeah, but I suppose at that time there was a cut. Well, there would have been a few training sessions before they went out to Australia. Then they went to Australia, and then they came back. And it's that period of when he came back, when everything got leaked. He's late to training. He's this, he's that, and that, and the other. Where everything started to come out. So you have to look at it. Is that what caused the issue? And they went, all right, no, that's it.
Or was it that a case where Lo Celso started playing well, and then because Ange was like, no, he doesn't need to jump on a plane to Spain. He can stay here. Because Lo Celso's performances when he did but he came on, he was doing very well.
Yeah.
So is that side of the argument too? Because when things are going well, training's amazing. When things are going bad, you're training us, it's boring, it's the same training every week.
Typical Spurs.
So you can flip it either way, is what I'm saying.
So, I mean, in a nutshell, what you're saying is, what you're suggesting is that, he could have had some sort of future at Spurs if the circumstances were right, basically.
Like imagine he didn't get that knock. He got that chance to start, and he did what Lo Celso did. Do you know what I'm trying to say? We could have been having a completely different conversation because before the narrative was Lo Celso doesn't like to play for Spurs. He only wants to play for Argentina. A little bit like Romero. Yeah. Remember? He only wants to play for Argentina. Yeah. But when it comes to Spurs, now everyone's jizzing over Romero. Romero's the best thing. And now look, Romero's got vice captain. It was the best decision Ange ever made. blah, blah, blah.
Do you know what? Actually making him vice captain was probably a great decision. When
Yeah.
you think about Romero,
Yeah.
he needed some sort of responsibility. And I suppose that's where his performances have completely changed. Because even Argentina are now seeing the benefit of it.
Yeah.
Because at the World Cup, right, Romero wasn't great. He was okay,
Yeah.
but he wasn't great. Now, look at his performances. As soon as he's gone back to Argentina, he's now playing a Spurs side that's comfortable.
Listen,
He's more happy.
Messi's rating him.
Yeah.
Messi's calling him the world best defender.
Yep.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Coming out of the goat's mouth.
Yeah. And certain people on the Spurs community, they don't like that. I'll be real. There's certain men are like, 4 games.
I'm not going to name what names.
4 games. No, it's not even a shot. 4 games, because I could be talking about, there's quite a few people that's come out and said that.
Anybody, everyone's firing.
There's quite a few
Firing
people.
shots.
No, not even. No, I'm not coming for no one. I'm just saying, and I'm not even, look, I'll be real. The first season Romero came out, everyone was like, oh, he's the best ever, blah, blah, blah. See what I'm trying to say? And then the second season, it wasn't so great, but then there was a lot of players that weren't so great either.
Yeah.
It's not just an individual thing, because that's what we like to do at Spurs. We like to scapegoat players. We like to put all of poor performances, the reason why things are going wrong, on one player, and it's never the case. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And Romero, he was used at that time as one of the reasons why we weren't doing so well. Too rash. He's diving into challenges, doesn't stay on his feet, etc. Do you know what I mean? This season, all of a sudden, he seemed a lot more mature. He hasn't made a single foul, which is incredible for a centre back, especially that one that kind of
Romero.
defends high as well. He's got to win the ball back high for the team. So he's taking a lot of risks, but for whatever reason, it's just working. And I do concede it is 4 games in. So let's start. But obviously, the season before last, he was good. So then you take that into account, and then you look at his partner alongside him in Argentina, which is Martinez of Manchester United. They're still rating Romero over over Martinez. Because Martinez, to me, looked good. Martinez came in, and I was like, oh, hang on.
To be fair, Martinez has been a great signing.
Yeah, I was like, oh, Martinez looks better than Romero. Do you know what I'm saying?
But I think Van der Ven's made a difference, like being at the back.
Yeah.
Has he? I'm joking. Definitely has. Definitely has.
We all said it. Like he needs a proper defender at the back with him, someone that knows what they're doing. Look, I don't want to sort of dive into the whole Dyer thing straight away, because we'll probably get there at some point. But
I hope not.
look, you might need another drink after that one. But look, I think Van der Ven coming in at the back with him, like, it's no coincidence. He's not even picked up a yellow. He's not been rash. His performances has been great. His distribution, his passing, tackling, everything's just upped, But it does make a difference. Like the system that the manager plays, it makes a massive difference. And just watching England last night and watching all the creative players, how they were stifled last night, that system just shows you how much of a difference it makes when a player has to play a certain way compared to when they play, a system that they enjoy playing in.
System definitely helps.
So
and
for
matters.
me, I think it's helped him tenfold. Like Ange giving them like a bit of freedom, playing that high line, because as you know, in Conte's system, they had to soak up a lot of pressure, and he's the type of player that likes to come out and win the ball high up the pitch. Playing that high line, he's got to be there anyway. So
it makes sense. He's there already.
He's there already.
He's there already. So he's able to lick the ball up quicker. And see it a bit quicker.
Compliment
it just suits him
down to the ground.
1,000%.
But also when it comes to the captaincy, I think what Ange has done is really clever, because he's picked 3 captains essentially: defense, midfield, attack.
Yep.
All those players are first team players, right? They're captain in their little zones. Romero, captain of the defense. Maddison, captain in the midfield. Son, captain in the front 3. I think what he's done, for me, I think makes a lot of sense.
No, it's a massive decision to do that, and I think you're spot on. All he needs now is to make a Vicario the 4th one, and he's
But you know what's funny? Like, coming into that England setup, there's a debate going around with Maddison. Obviously, there's a debate in itself. Is he the best signing of the Premier League? I'll let you guys answer that in a sec. But there's another debate going around. You've got Maddison. You've got Bellingham, and then you've got Maddison, Bellingham, and then the third one is Henderson. Unfortunately, that's
wow, Henderson.
It kind of stung. I didn't want to. I kind of started there. I was like, did I say his name? But yeah, those are the 3. So Henderson and Bellingham, they're basically the starters. but then you could have a Foden in there instead of a Maddison. Who is better? Maddison as that creator or Foden? In your opinion, go for it. Anyone can start. I don't mind.
I'm gonna throw this one out there. It all depends on if Kane starts or not.
Oh,
If Kane starts, Maddison can't play
oh,
because what Kane does, and I noticed this before, because Kane drops into the positions that Maddison is now taking up.
right.
Maddison then is just hanging out on the left. He's not dropping into that space where
It's not his natural position.
it's not his natural. Where Foden is more going to push out to the left because he's not required to go in the middle for Manchester City. He's got De Bruyne to do that. He had Gundogan to do that. He's got Kovacic to do it. He's got all them players to do that. So he's out on the left. So if Kane is around, Maddison shouldn't start for England.
Okay. What do you think?
And that's where I sit on it because
Yeah, look.
and Rashford for me is the perfect partner in that situation.
Yeah.
And that's why he should play. Because what Kane did yesterday when he drops deep, he plays that pass to Walker.
Yeah.
If Rashford was playing, he would have been on the other side.
Yeah. I agree. Actually, I agree with you. Watching that game last night, I thought Maddison was just wasted, and you can see he got so frustrated in the end. Ended up committing a foul.
Yeah.
Something that we've not seen at Spurs. You know, he's enjoying his football at Spurs because
Look at the friendlies when Kane was around and Maddison. Madison weren't performing the way he was now.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, oh no, we know Maddison will come good. We know Maddison will come good. But he was playing with Kane all the time in those friendlies. And even the Shakhtar game.
Yeah.
He didn't play well. As soon as Kane left, his performances have just now stepped up.
It's true. Facts.
And you can see it.
All right. So what is Maddison the Kane replacement then?
The one part of it.
Yeah, the creative part of it, I would say, yes, 100%. Because
a lot of people were saying, sorry to cut you, a lot of people were saying Kane and Maddison, if only they were like together, do you know what I mean? We would have been a force to reckon with, and Kane can play any system and he could be the box striker. He did it before with Pochettino, and do you know what I mean? That was the talk at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But that was before Mourinho took Kane. That came before Mourinho. They could have played together.
Mourinho sort of said, oh, I found out, Kane's passing is amazing. He's like De Bruyne. He was, just oozing over him. It was like, this guy can play in any position. He could be a creator, this, that, and the other. But yeah, I have to agree with you because I think having Maddison and Kane in the same team, yes, two great players, but I just think you're right. The performance levels, when Kane left, it was like, unbelievable, especially if he's got the runners. Like we saw, like when Son was moved to the middle, right? He's got that runner down the middle, someone that can hold the ball. Like when the ball comes to him, he can control it, get a goal, be an attacking threat. So I just think, having Maddison in that chief creator role.
So let me throw this out. Was Conte right not to sign Maddison? Because from what you're saying.
But look, I'll tell you what, everyone has said, right, in these last 4 games, oh my God, I knew Maddison was good.
But I didn't know he was that good.
I didn't realise he was that good.
Right.
Now, if you took it up until the preseason games, like I said, Maddison wasn't playing great. So actually, maybe, Conte was right. He didn't need a Maddison at the time. He probably needed a better winger. Kulusevski and Son were terrible under him last year, right? Son was okay. Kulusevski was awful and injured most of the time. So he was right. So what he wanted was defenders. And that's where we probably should have concentrated on. But then you got to remember, Bentancur changed the whole season for Conte last year because we weren't missing a Maddison last year. As soon as Bentancur got injured, it was game over. The whole team just went to pot defensively. Well, we were letting in goals anyway, but defensively, going forward, we just couldn't do nothing. So under his system, yes. But now for Big Ange, you need a Maddison. It works.
There's a narrative going around that, Conte could never do what Ange is doing. You see what I'm trying to say? Like, when Conte exploded, we had a chance to become third. If we had won that game against Southampton, we go ahead of Man United and we'll become third and we push on from there. But obviously we dropped the points and from there. And then it was so close to AC Milan, dropping, getting knocked out, and then obviously the Sheffield United debacle, getting knocked out the cup for that as well. I think it was because it was so close together. He was saying like, well, what Kane was saying, like, we can't handle the pressure.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So if we had won that game, do you think Conte would still be here? Like, do you think we'd still be playing? Because think about it. You've got Basuma. Everyone's like, oh, Basuma wasn't playing under Conte. But remember, he was ill. He was injured a lot of the season. And the style of football is slightly different, where I think Conte likes midfielders to dominate an area, whereas Ange likes midfielders to be natural and express themselves. They can be box to box. They can play multiple positions. If you're forward, that means someone else covers you. Whereas Conte is like, no, I would like my midfielder in this particular zone.
He's far more rigid.
Yeah, he's got this zone. I want you to dominate this zone. I can't let my midfielder vacate the space and then we're exposed.
Yeah.
The exposure, because let's face it, under Ange, as good as it is,
It's all about risks.
it's about risk.
It's about risk.
It's about risk. So it's about a level of pragmatism, because, like, let's face it, if you push on and there's a big gaping hole in your left back area, your right back area, or your midfield area, you could get ripped to shreds. And I think that's what Conte was saying. Like, Conte was like to Basuma, he doesn't quite understand the tactics. It wasn't like an insult to him. But it was just, it was stylistic.
It's really weird because Fabio Paratici signed players for Conte. He wanted Conte as a manager, but none of them suited him. And it's the weirdest scenario to be in, right? Where all these players that he has signed have now come under Ange and gone. Like, Basuma's performances right now are second to none. These are better than Brighton's.
Well, have you seen what he did in the international game?
Crazy.
From the byline.
Crazy.
I mean,
My brother. Oh my days.
If anyone has an upsurge in confidence and ability, that it's that guy, because we're seeing a Bissouma that we've never seen before at Tottenham anyway. Because we saw it at Brighton to an extent. Like, you know, when it was at Brighton, I think when we played, I don't know if it was home or I think it was away, he pocketed Harry Kane that game.
Yeah, that was at home.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Pocketed Harry Kane. It was like, who is this guy? Like,
That's where all the Spurs fans stood up. They took note.
This guy was just like, he was everywhere. It was like a ghost, you know what I mean? Just pop out here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah.
But I think this season we're just seeing an upsurge in his confidence and ability and everything else. And it's just a shame that Conte couldn't utilize him in the system. I know he was injured last season, but wow, it's like a brand new signing, literally. Like a brand new signing.
One hundo, bro.
You know,
One hundo.
And you can't take him out that midfield, like, ever. If he's playing like this, he's got to be an automatic starter alongside Maddison, because
You know what it is for me as well? Like, I think last season, where we had Højbjerg and Skip, they're very similar in profile and stylistic.
Two system players, right?
Yeah, and I think as well, like, in terms of being press resistant, like being able to like get the ball in tight areas, do that, you know, the half turn and
Watch
drop the
Dembele.
shoulder and etc. Like, I think with Benton Kerr, where he's good at that, I think.
Stop talking about that, man, please. Not yet.
I'm just saying. Like, now you have a Basuma who's also good at that.
Yeah.
But in the system as well, he's able to be free and express himself. And so he hasn't got to worry. Like, he has defensive responsibilities. Let's not get it twisted. Because he's got, like, the highest amount of interceptions and tackles, not just in the league, but in the 5 top leagues as well, from what I've read. And so, like, in terms of a 6, he's doing his job. Do you know what I mean? Better than anyone else. But because he's been given that freedom role and he's in a system that complements him, you're now seeing a guy that's enjoying his football, and it's almost like he's taking a step up. You know, people were questioning last season. You know, it's all well good doing at Brighton, but now you're at a bigger club. Can you do it? Can you handle the pressure? But now you're seeing
club.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you're seeing a different player, and I think that's the difference between last season and this season. But I wanted to just quickly move from this topic just a little bit, but stay on the midfield. But who do you think, like, if I said to you that first part of the question, is Maddison the best signing of the season? But now you have to look at players like Tonali, you've got to look at McAllister from Liverpool, or Sloboslai from Liverpool. You've got to look at Declan Rice from Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? You've got who else am I missing? There's loads of players. There's Casados with Chelsea, obviously. You've got
let's not go there.
Man City. They got Kovacic, Kovacic. Sorry,
True time.
we haven't seen a lot of Gvardiol. It's not been hyped up, but obviously he was there. Do you know what I mean? The Brighton, Brentford, like all these players. Aston Villa's Diaby. Sorry, that's another player.
Not seen anything of Sangare's gone to, I think, Forest.
Yeah, so it's still early.
Kudus has gone
But
to,
from what you've seen so far, I know it's only 4 games
think-
and it's still early, but
you got to look at it like value for money as well, because I look at it this way, right? With Winks going the other way, Madison's cost us 30 million, right? For a player of his ability and the fact that he's been outstanding for us for the last 4 games. He's got his England call up as well. I just think value for money, I think he's been one of, I think, the best players. I think definitely in the top 3. Rice, I think he's one for the future for them lot down the road. I still think 105 million, that's a lot of money, but these days, you know,
is he better than
just
Basuma?
think-
Is Rice better than Basuma?
I don't
Depends what you're asking for.
They're both box to box.
like,
They're both
yeah.
box to box. I think with Rice in the final third, I think that's when you see him doing those kind of runs, carrying the ball.
I think Bissouma's more dangerous. I think Bissouma's more dangerous than Rice. I don't think Rice has been asked to sort of get forward and try and be a threat.
Rice scores more than
Yeah.
Basuma though.
English tax though.
True, but you know,
To be fair to Rice, I think I think Arsenal feel exactly the same way as we do about Maddison. They go, I knew Rice was good. They didn't realise he was this good. I think where he was at West Ham, he didn't play that attacking role as much because obviously West Ham were not the most attacking team. But you can see as games are going on, Rice is getting better each game as it comes. And
it was good for England as well yesterday.
yeah, and I think you can see that with Rice. Like, the beginning part of the season is always when he's really good anyway, right? And it's always towards the end when he starts to fade out and thing. But I think with Rice, when you look at him and Basuma, they play 2 different roles. Yeah, they're both box to box, but they're completely different into what their team needs them for. And right now, both are doing exactly what they need. If they were both from the same country and you were picking them internationally, maybe Basuma might get ahead.
Do you think that's a credit to Arteta? Would you put Arteta now in a top 3, one of the top 3 coaches now? And I say this with
No.
I can't believe you're asking this.
no. Listen,
I
hear me
get
out, hear me out, hear me
I
out.
know what you're gonna say. But
Listen, I know where I stand on it, but I'm here to ask the questions because it's debate, right? So you've got Arteta, obviously you won the FA Cup straight away, so got a cup in his first season. Now, if Big Ange doesn't win a cup in his first season, but he manages to get us 6th or 8th? Wait, is 8th a disaster? Is that? Would you say 8th is a failure for Spurs if Big Ange comes?
I think
because
it's
I don't
what we
know.
expect to be, right?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
8th twice in the season because Conte, like not Conte, but obviously Mason finished 8th, and
before the
people
season
calling out.
started, would you have said would finish higher than 8th or 8th?
I would look. I expected us to finish 8th before the season started.
There you
I'll
go.
be real. But
you
that's
go.
my expectation. I don't know if I'm not a realistic fan, but I look at what happened last season. I look at the jump up of the other teams, like the players they brought in, and
Yeah.
I do take into consideration they have Europe as well, so there is a chance that we could push ahead of them. But from where we finished and the way they've improved, and I look at how we've improved as well, it's not going to be easy. Is what I'm saying. It's not going to
I
be
think
easy.
it's too soon to say. I think we need to give it a bit of time because this is still a bedding in process for Ange. Even Ange himself has come out and said, "Look, they're still not there yet." You know what
I
I
hear
mean?
you.
They're still
A lot of fans,
we're
I
playing
feel
okay.
like a lot of fans are thinking Spurs 6th, and if they finish outside the top 6,
I think we need to temper expectations a bit because I think even like blowing up players at the moment, like they're playing well, but I think they need to be doing it consistently. If after 10 games we're sitting here and we're saying, do you know what, Bissouma for the last 10 games or Maddison for the last 10 games has been outstanding, then we can say, do you know what? Yeah, he's that guy. Yeah.
all right, okay.
But
So
I just think it's a bit too soon. I'm loving the performance, but I just think it's a bit too. Are we being a bit?
I'm just
too,
saying because Arteta won an FA Cup in his first season, right?
Mm-hmm.
No expectation. a low expectation from the Arsenal fans, but he won a cup regardless, right?
Not first full season, first half.
First half season,
Yeah.
second
Got
full
lucky
season,
under COVID.
again. He didn't get top 6 again. Second season, it was like a double boom boom. Do you know what I mean? And then the third season, 5th, and then the 4th season. Then now he's taking them to the second, you know, and obviously they bottled it.
But where are they expected to finish this year though? Because now, look, they finished second, right?
Yeah,
They have spent over what, nearly £200 million this summer again.
yeah.
I'm sorry, but if you're not winning the league with over £200 million spent
Or challenging.
or challenging, right? And the way they've started, you're looking at going, "Ugh." They should be winning the league this year. If not,
Ahead of Man City.
yeah, Man City have lost players, and everyone's going, "Oh, you know, the Man City always meant." Yeah, Man City are going to be exactly the same, but they've just done the treble, right? I will sit here and say Man City will not have the same determination as they did last year, right? Because they've just gone on one freak. Unless they're going to win them all, they're not going to do it, are they? So Arsenal should be winning the league this year. If they're not, it's a failure on their part.
If
That's
that's,
a
the
lot of
case,
money
if that's
to
the
invest.
case, then Pep should go look for another challenge. That means he's not
I
he's
don't
not
know.
hungry enough.
It's a difficult one because I said this from the beginning of the season. Like when the transfer window was done, Arsenal spent that amount of money, and I said they've got to be challenging at least.
They should be winning.
Bare minimum is challenging. Anything less,
I know. I agree.
that
I
amount
agree.
of money spent. Now they've had
I agree.
setbacks. Yes, Timber, he's been injured. It was one of the pivotal signings for them. Good player, but that's no excuse. If you're spending that much, if you're spending 105 millions on Rice, and other players alongside him, you need to be challenging. Yeah, I don't know about Man City slowing down because they bought in Gvardiol for 100 mil or whatever it was. You know, they've brought in some shrewd signings as well. Kovacic has come in with a bit of experience. You know, and they've bought Nunes as well. They've bought
Doku as well.
Jeremy Doku.
My worry is that
me-
they've started off too well. Now, if you look at the seasons where Man City have started off well, they've not won the league. They've only done it once. Usually they have a slow start, and that's what worries me this time. They've had a fast start again.
You heard it here first, by the way. If you want to put your bets on, yeah.
Right? Because do you remember when Pep's first season, he came in, right, and they went 10 games unbeaten, came to White Hart Lane, that was it. Right?
Hoodoo Lane.
Yeah. So every season after that, they've always had a slow start, right? And I think Barcelona were the same. The times that he didn't win it was when they had a really fast start and they won all their games. So my worry is this year is that they're going to do exactly the same, but they haven't got Kevin De Bruyne this year to get them out of trouble. They've only got Haaland. There's certain players that still got Jack Grealish is, again, he probably hasn't started as well as he did end last year. But I think I've got a feeling, and I've said this, that someone else is going to win the league this year.
Interesting. But also, what is your answer? Who is the best signing?
Oh, I haven't even said mine, right? James Ward-Prowse. And I'm
Wow.
gonna.
Would you have had him at Spurs? Because look,
Not now.
because obviously you've got Madison
Yeah.
playing,
He does take set pieces.
One
We've got no one
side-
to cross it to, has he? So it's no point. No,
but then you've got James Ward-Prowse. That's his speciality as
Yeah, but
well.
the
With
problem-
defeat being on set pieces, a lot of fans they were a JWP. They did.
Look, I look at it like this, right? There are certain players who are suited to certain managers and certain ways of style. James Ward-Prowse was suited to West Ham, right? And if you look at what West Ham have done with this Rice money, right, and the way they've started, I'm shocked. I'm blown away by it, if I'm being honest. I think David Moyes has done an absolute brilliant job so far. It's not even like they've played badly. They've been playing well in these games. Bowen has been, again, I don't know if it's scoring in the final or not. but
Bowen's
he's-
been amazing.
He's been amazing.
He's been
Oh,
amazing.
Bowen's always
That goal he scored,
Yeah. But
first touch,
Yeah.
and then the finish.
But this is why I'm saying Ward
Crazy.
because the impact that he's had on West Ham, I think is we kind of expected it from Madison, right, to have this impact. Yeah, he's
Well,
been
some
better.
fans,
Yeah.
not all fans.
I don't think anyone expected Ward-Prowse to have the same effect that West Ham have had so far, and the fact that they're the third behind us, I think.
Yeah. They're not far behind.
They've been good as well, and yet they've played some of the lesser teams like we have, and they've turned them over. Last year they were struggling.
So you don't think there would have been a place for James Ward-Prowse at Spurs?
Nah, he wouldn't have suited our system. If you look at the way he plays, right, and especially he set pieces, apart from Romero or Van der Ven, who else is good in the air? And that's the problem. Where if you go to West Ham now, they've got a Gerd, a Bon.
Oh, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Antonio.
Bonner.
Yeah, a Bonner.
Yeah.
They've got
Matter
players
of fact,
that
I
are
get it.
good in the air.
I
We
get it.
don't. So, and they rely on their set pieces.
Yeah.
Where again, we've
That's why
got
they're a threat.
we've got Son.
And when you've got the likes of James Ward-Prowse that can
Solomon.
whip that ball in as
Yeah.
well. It's just,
So what you don't rate him, not rate him, but you don't put it on the same pedestal as like offset, like not offset pieces, as in like his normal like on the ground ball work. Do you not rate it as high or?
I think he works hard as well, but I think his distribution's fine. Like his passing range is really good. I just think he's got other players around him that can do that dirty stuff. You know, like Alvarez that's come in. You know, he can be that midfield enforcer. He's got so many players around him that can do the dirty stuff. They'll look to get him on the ball, to pass the ball, to connect it all, you know.
And Pakistan has been brilliant.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
Pakistan as
1000%.
well.
So like he got linked
100.
to Manchester City and went, I'm gonna show you why now.
Yeah.
Because we were looking like, really?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
no, he's been like, I think he's just like, for Ward-Prowse could probably play in Sar's position right now and do well. If you ask me who would I rather have, him or Bentancur, I'm probably going to go for Bentancur because he's that box to box. And when he comes, well, obviously he's not going to come back this year and all guns blazing. But the fact he can settle in and just slowly get back to where he was, I'd take Bentancur all day
I
long.
think he's better under pressure as well.
Yeah.
I think so, honestly. But look, if you're looking to me, who might be the best signing of the season so far, I'm gonna give you two. I'm
Cool.
gonna give you two.
Cool.
I'm gonna give you the potential best signing of the season, and who so far I think is the best signing. For me, what I've seen from Szoboszlai, I think
I agree.
that the amount of money that they
I
paid
agree.
for that guy,
Yeah,
it's
I agree.
peanuts.
Yeah,
They've paid peanuts for that guy. It's like 30 something million.
yeah, I agree.
Right?
That's what I was going to say.
Like that guy on the ball can do things, right? Don't get me wrong. I love Maddison. I'm not going to be biased on this. I think Maddison's a fantastic signing for us. But Szoboszlai, the fact that he's coming from a different league, the fact that he's settled in
Farmers League.
from the Farmers League,
Apparently, yeah.
as
Coming
as
to
a
another
farmer,
one.
yeah. I just think he's coming to that midfield at Liverpool, and I think he will be that difference this season. He will potentially carry
Probably
that
be,
team
yeah.
this
I think,
season.
yeah.
Different.
Long
Okay?
term, I
Liverpool.
think, yeah.
Long term, what a signing that is for Klopp to have identified him from the German league. I think it's fantastic. But for me, also a team that hasn't been doing well, and this player was essential to them, is Amrabat. For me, I think give him time, he's going to make a difference in that team.
Don't know. It's
For
Man
me,
United.
I'm telling you now, I'll put
Like
my
United's
neck-
curse.
I'll put my neck on the line. Yeah, I'm going to
Yeah,
say
yeah,
this.
for real.
yeah?
Go for it.
They need someone like Amrabat in that team.
I
Because
reckon
yeah.
so. I
we
reckon.
saw Casemiro in that team. We aged him by another 10 years when he played us, right? Okay, he was looking like a granddad in that midfield. But
Hey,
I think he'll come in that midfield. He'll give them lots of energy, lots of running, lots of defensive cover. We all know United's got attacking threat. We all know that. And I just think he will, long term, I think he will make the difference for them. So I'm going to say potentially he could also be one of the signings of the season or loan signings of the season.
I hear that, man. I like the look of Diaby, but I wouldn't say he's the sign of the season. I think I agree with the Szoboszlai. I'd put him up there, definitely. But I do like the look of Diaby, and I think we slept on Diaby, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, yeah.
He could have definitely
Yeah.
Mate, we were too busy trying to
very
go for tap
one-footed.
sober, man. So why the hell are we
No,
gonna
the whole
get
time
Diaby?
is-
Tap sober.
Me included. I'll put myself in there.
It's very one-footed sort of thing. Like I think he's right-footed. I'm not wrong. Doesn't really use his left foot that often, but
Yeah.
the attacking pace that he's got,
It's energy, yeah.
and he gets in the right positions. You know, as soon as they're on the break, he knows where he's got to be.
either flank.
You
Either
know,
flank is
him and-
dangerous.
flank.
Do you know, him and Bailey kind of remind me of when Villa had, was it Young and Downing?
Yeah, do you remember that?
Yeah, under
that was crazy.
Yeah.
Throwback.
Right.
And was it, yeah, and Carew. But
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what Villa remind with Ollie Watkins.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
as soon as Emery gets them going, I think they're going to be a problem.
Yeah,
A
1000%.
massive problem. They're going to have games like they did against Newcastle and Liverpool. They're not at that quality, and they will just concede. That Emery done it at Arsenal. There were certain games you just literally threw in the towel, but they're winning the others. And as long as they're winning the others, they're doing exactly what they need to do. And I think that's, yeah, if Bailey can get to like how he was at Leverkusen, then they've got a front three to,
To reckon with.
yeah.
There was a clip here in the Spurs Hotspur way, and like there's a gym, and you see Valise, he's on the bench. And
Oh,
you
yeah.
also see like Brian Hill, and he's like,
Forgot about the forgotten man, Brian Hill. didn't
Brian
we?
Hill's like that,
Yeah.
thumbs up, yeah.
Oh, D'Artagnan, yeah.
Dude, his chin looks squared off like he's been on Anavar, bare steroids, bare anabolics. And I'm thinking, raw, you know what? Is he the forgotten man? Are we sleeping on Brian Hill? I know like last season, was it last season? He looked a bit like small, getting knocked off the ball
paper
too
thin,
easy, a bit paper thin. But, you know, if he comes back with a certain vim, a certain like, you know, energy, he's played a few games. There was a game against Palace where he did all right. He set up Kane for a goal. If he can have that, add that physicality, can what Conte famously said, he said, you know, he could be our David Silva. Could he play as that wing forward, or could he play as an
Can't play
eight?
on the wing. He can't play on the wing for us. I think you saw his best work. There was a Champions League game he came on in the middle, and he literally opened them up in the last 10 minutes. And I think because everyone talks about how he is physically, he needs to play in the centre. He has to be physically strong to play on that wing. And I know he likes to play on the wing, but if you listen, when he was playing for Seville, you can see where you can do that in the Spanish league. You can't do that here, so you have to adjust. And if you think about Silva, he played a lot out wide when he was in Spain, but as soon as he came here, they brought him in the middle, and things changed.
I think generally what we're saying is like in the middle, it's generally like the smaller man, you know, who's really good on the turn, really quick
Modric.
feet, you know.
Say Modric, yeah.
You know.
Future Modric.
Modric, Silva.
Modric started out wide.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, they all start out wide and then they sort of move in.
Yeah.
Eriksen started out wide too.
Props to Modric, by the way. Still
Yeah, his
going
birthday
strong.
is
38. I think.
birthday, you know.
Wow,
Birthday
that
boy.
guy. Honestly, I can't believe he played for Tottenham Hotspur. That guy.
Yeah, it's true, I know.
So good. One of the best players of my generation.
Yeah, facts.
I'd put him up there. But look, Brian Hill, man, that kid, we all said like he needs to put on a bit of weight. He needs to go to a Mackey's, get a 3-piece meal or something.
He needs to
you
go on
know,
the
put some
Dembele
weight
diet.
on. But,
Need some protein
you know, he
shakes.
needs something, but there is
creatine.
something about him, right?
Yeah,
There is something about him. We saw when he played like for Seville, I think when they won the Europa League,
Yeah.
like he certainly put in performances going towards that final and winning the final, because for me, I just think he's got an abundance of skill. I think it always comes back down to that physicality. You need to have that physicality to play in the Premier League. You know, you see Maddison, right? Maddison's only a slight figure, but he's got that physicality.
Yeah.
You know,
But
he
is
can
that
stick his-
because he's down in the middle
yeah,
instead of
Yeah,
being
yeah,
out
yeah.
wide? He did, like, you look at the Salahs, the Sons of this world who have played out wide. They're physically just stronger,
yeah.
right? They're not big, but they're physically strong and they got pace to burn. But if you're really small, it's kind of hard. It's like we said, you got the Modrics of this world. The tiny players tend to play in the middle, and that's where they can get most freedom. But yeah, with Brian Hill, there's a player there, but I just don't think it's at Spurs.
Where do we see him if he was to be
Interesting.
integrated into the team?
He said
Considering Madison's there already.
he's saying like basically saw. He say basically saw. I know, like I'm not sure about Brian Hill on a counter press, like winning that ball back. Do you know
I
what I mean?
don't
At the
think
pitch.
he's that type of player.
But I don't know, because obviously, unless he comes off for Madison, like Madison comes off,
This is the thing.
and then you bring him on as
I
an
think
impact.
as an impact sub, as a substitute, I think you can do a job. If Madison needs to come off, needs to be rested for a while, I think you can do a job. I
agree.
think so. But look, I hope he can do a job for us. Maybe, certain players getting chances at the club as well. He might be one of those players. So,
Guys, I'm gonna throw a question out there. You might need to top up on this one. You might need another juice.
I'm losing my hair at an accelerated rate, bro. Come on.
Hear me out, my guy. All right, listen. Here's a scenario. Would you rather let your missus get piped or watch Spurs get relegated?
That's a fucked up.
No, I've got to have another drink after that one, man.
Told you.
Jesus.
You might need a couple of sips after this one. It's a bit wild still, can't lie, but hey yo,
Mate,
Might need to
take
get
time,
weighted
take time,
for this
take time,
one,
take
man.
time, take
you know
time.
what? Do you know what? I take Spurs getting relegated. I tell you why. I tell you why, right? Because it might mean I might see Spurs win the league.
Oh, man. So you're taking the championship over
Mate, I watch more games.
All right. Let me switch it for
can't.
you. Let me
Go,
switch
go,
it
go,
for you.
go.
Let me switch it for you. Let me switch it for
Always
you.
gonna be for me. Like, look, Spurs are always gonna be there, right? I'm gonna support them no matter if they're in the Championship, League One, League Two, or Conference, right?
I look at it busting out the reasons there.
I don't want my missus getting popped by someone else. Come on, come on. Spurs are always gonna
Legs
be
up in the
there.
air, like,
I'm wondering how many people
Legs to
would
the
actually allow
shoulders.
that.
Do you know what? That's a great question to know how many
steps
people
out,
would
she
allow
puts
it.
back in. Like, it's wild still. I can't even lie to you, right?
Bloody hell, what a
Wow.
question.
But like, I was gonna say, all right, cool. Would you? All right, you've got a dog, right?
I don't know.
Where this
You've got
guy's
a dog,
going?
right? You've
Where's
got a
this
dog.
going,
You've got
man?
a dog, right?
I propped
Would
the
you
Tommy,
let-
by the way.
Would you let your dog get put down, knowing that your dog's healthy right now? Like this year, RIP to your dog, right now. Dog gone. It's gone to doggy heaven. It's a wrap. Or Spurs win the double, or the following season Spurs win Champions League. Something that our rivals have never done.
All dogs go to heaven, man.
I'm keeping the dog, man.
Rest in peace, Jackson, man. That. Do you know what?
You can get another dog, B.
Must be when my dog's on its last leg. I'll say 100%. Nah, I don't know, man. Nah, I can't put my dog down, man. Come on, that's like
Family member, isn't it? It's a family member.
You know what?
that's a tough one, man.
Do you know what? If you'd asked this question, right, and a certain person weren't in charge, I think my answer would be different. I think my answer for all this would be
You said
different.
depending on Levy.
I'll tell you why, right? And I explain why.
What is what are you talking about, the piping or?
For me, right, not just the last 5 years, but these last 23 years, right? And the thing is, I'm old enough to remember as a kid before Levy. Like, yeah, we had issues, right? But for me, this fan base was united. I could go somewhere, right? And as long as I said I was a Spurs fan as a kid, all the Spurs fans were looking after me. You go somewhere now, it's like, I'm a Spurs fan, right? Other guys, I'm a Spurs fan. Like, all right. And then the next question is, you leave in or out? And that's what it is now, right?
Yeah, it's moved on, and it's moved on.
And then it just moves on to and then every conversation you have with any Spurs fan moves on to Levy in or out, right? And there was a great question the other day, right, where someone said, would other clubs take Daniel Levy at their club?
Ooh, I like that.
And
I like that.
and I thought about it and I was like, would they?
No, yeah.
I think some would, but they look at Spurs, right?
Well, for financial stability.
But the thing is, right, and all the fun, everyone talks about what he's done as a businessman, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it. If Daniel Levy weren't in charge of a London club and exploited what's happened in the last 23 years as a Spurs, as a Premier League brand, would he be as successful outside London with another team? Would he be able to do the same stuff? Or is it just because the Champions League and European spaces have become more? You think about the years before, the 23 years before that, right? I think the average league position they said was 8th or something, 8.3, and we've gone up 2 by 6, right? But how many times when we won the FA Cup would we have been in Europe? You got to remember all the other factors that played in to the 23 years before that. There wasn't the top 4. There wasn't, we missed out. I think we missed out on Europe twice because of the England ban. There's so many other factors that he has been able to. Is he got lucky, or is he just seen what's becoming? Because buying the club for all them years ago for how much it was, but you think of other clubs, their value's gone up from all them years ago. The fact that we've gone to $1 billion, well, say $1 billion. I don't know if anyone will ever buy us,
Yeah.
but you kind of got to look at it and go, did they just get lucky?
Did they buy at the right time?
Did they just buy at the right time and got rid of? They're an investment company as well. They invest in stuff. So did they see all this coming?
Yeah.
I think the fact that they bought a London club to begin with, I think where a club is located is important as well.
Very.
Obviously, United's got the name,
Yep.
and Manchester's another one of the big sort of cities in UK, right? But on top of that, you've got to say London is the prime location. You look at Chelsea, Arsenal, all those clubs, London. So I think that's a big factor. But what I'd like to know is where you think he might have been successful. Like what other club do you reckon out of London if they took over?
What would you take the Glazers at Spurs? That's enough.
no,
Would you flip it? Let me flip it on that, because they're another company or football team that don't like their owners as much as we don't.
Yeah.
But would you take the Glazers at Spurs?
It's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
It's like picking a different kind of poison, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
It's
what I'm saying.
You got to
That's
pick
what I
your
mean.
poison, but which one do you want?
This is the thing that, like, obviously when we're totally out of, I don't like Levy for so many different reasons, but when I compare him to other chairmans, and that's why it was such a great question when someone said, would other teams take him? Because we're sitting there complaining.
Yeah.
I think Everton would take him.
But the thing is, now, you know, I was watching a debate the other day, right? And Everton, right? Are they in the same situation as us? What are they expecting, right? Because if before their owners took over, they were fighting relegation. Their owners are putting a load of money. They're still doing the same crap.
But I don't get it. I don't get it. They had the likes of Ancelotti there, right? And they were making signings like James Rodriguez.
It was working with Ancelotti.
It was working.
And it was
working.
like, Jesus, like,
I think
club,
they got
they're
lucky.
Up and coming, like,
They got
what's
lucky
going on?
with Ancelotti.
They did.
Yeah?
I think they just made a bad footballing decision. So you got, like, again, non-footballing people making footballing decisions.
Yeah.
And that's where the ultimate downfall was.
I mean, they really shot themselves in the leg, right? I mean, they had it all at one point. You know, they could have been up there, you know, competing with Liverpool, this, that, and the other. But yeah, that's a catastrophe.
They messed up.
Like,
They messed up after Ancelotti. The problem was they got Ancelotti in. He changed the culture of the club. He changed everything. Had everything going in the right direction. He complained about a few signings here and there, but he had them probably where they should have been. And then they went and just didn't go and follow the same factor with employment. Typical what Spurs did. We tried to go from Poch to Mourinho. Mourinho and Conte were probably quite similar, but again, two different people. And it just literally doesn't work. You have to, if you're being successful, try and keep that culture going. Now, Ange should have probably came in after Poch. If they'd known about Ange and scoured the world, they probably would have known that this guy could come in and done it. But Celtic took him and made him look, this is what he can do. But yeah, it's just Everton messed up, and they shouldn't have done. There were so many opportunities for them to go and get the manager to suit the players, and that's the problem when you've got a certain brand and a certain system that's working. If you don't try and follow that on, you're gonna get up in a mess like we did.
because they've essentially, right, YRC Everton, they've got a plan as well. They're building a new stadium, really nice stadium as well.
Trying to do it like Spurs, aren't they?
But whatever you say, right, I think this year is a pivotal year because they've got to stay in the league.
Yeah.
Because they can't be going ahead with building a new stadium and everything else if they're dropping down to the Championship.
To be fair to them though, right? I looked at their team the other week and I was like, this team should be doing a lot better than they are now.
They're underperforming.
They're totally underperforming, and I don't think Sean Dyche might not be the right guy either, but they need a manager to come in with these players that they've got and just make it. And Postecoglou probably would have been a great signing for them.
Yeah.
He probably would have been the one to turn them round.
Yeah.
Right? Because I was looking at their defense, they're not relegation. They shouldn't be anyway.
No,
I look at them on paper and I go, they shouldn't be relegated. Mid-table team, yes. But they just, again, they did.
But I see them as Stoke Mark II now under Dyche.
Right?
And Dyche was brought
Version
in.
2, yeah.
Dyche was brought in to purely just keep them up.
Floated, yeah.
Yeah, steady the ship at the back. Don't concede any goals, and try and grab a 1-0 here and there, or maybe a couple of draws. But where do they go after that? They stayed up, right, and they still got Dyche ball. You're not gonna, they're the new Stoke of the league now. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
A low block team that tries to play out every now and then.
Burnley. He's
Yeah.
just
Another
recreated
Burnley. Well, Burnley's. But look, I know Burnley's had a bad start, but at least they try and play football now under company.
Yeah, but I mean, like Sean Dyche Burnley.
Like Sean Dyche Burnley,
Yeah.
right? Exactly.
Burnley
But
bold.
I just
Burnley
don't
bold.
see. It's a double-edged sword because when you bring in someone like Dyche or Allardyce to steady the ship and keep you up, you then got to keep these managers on for the next season. Okay, so where do you go from there? What's the ambition from there? Is it to stay up again? Is it mid-table?
I tell you what, they used to do it well, but obviously up until the last few years they didn't. But Everton should look at the model that Southampton had. Was it not Atkins? Was it Atkins? I can't remember who the manager was before Poch, right? Where the whole point was to survive. Once they got the survival technique, the next step was to then move the brand of football and get someone to come in. And if you notice, after Poch, Southampton had manager after manager after manager that suited their style. And then, because they kept getting taken, I think after Koeman, they went, nah, fuck this. Right? Let's try and get managers to keep us in the league. And that's where they messed up. Right? And with Ralph, to be fair, he wasn't bad. It's just that he was too open.
Yeah.
He didn't know when to shut up shop. And I always said he should have made Fraser Foster's number one from the beginning. And I think they would have. And now everyone looks at me and goes, why Fraser Foster's a good keeper. No matter what you think of him against penalties against Fulham, how many great saves did he make against Fulham?
No,
Everyone has
he
completely
shot a
forgotten.
lot of fans up. He shot a lot of fans up. Because the first game, everyone was like, oh, he's stiff, rare. And then after that, look how slow he gets down, like Frankenstein. But yeah, after that, he kind of like, people were like, yeah, he's actually doing better than what Lloris was doing at one point. That's what the narrative was anyway, from what I remember. But just a quick segue here. Do you think Nuno, I don't know, do you think Nuno was he our first black manager?
Yes.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
He was.
That is mad to me.
Yeah.
That is mad. All right, so.
But how many have we had in the Premier League?
Yeah. How many of the top six had?
I think we had John Tigana at Fulham.
Yeah.
Chris
Houghton.
Newcastle and Brighton.
That's right. I think there was a couple more that I'm forgetting.
Chris Ramsey was technically temporary of Wolves.
Patrick Vieira.
Was. Yeah.
Who else
Aaron
do we-
Moore, West Brom.
Would you say he was the most successful black manager then?
Nuno at Wolves.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I would say so. Yeah, 100%.
They didn't like his football, but when you think about where
What he did for him.
what they did for him, and where they are now, you kind of going, they were stable. under Nuno. No matter how bad the football was, how much they didn't like him,
Well, that's what
how
they
much he
wanted
was
though,
sacked.
right? Because Wolves come up and they just wanted to establish themselves in the league.
But there was after 4 years, I think it was, you got to start recycling, and they just they went down the wrong route as well.
Did Nuno get enough time at Spurs?
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
No, he didn't.
How long did he have?
I think it was like 10 games, I think. It was 10 games.
Yeah, 1-5, lost 5, wasn't it? That was the record.
10 games.
That's tough. That's quite
It's tough, but the football was tough as well.
That's the problem. The football was tough. Now, I think long term he probably would have done okay. I think it would have been exactly how his record was. I think he would have won half, lost half, and would have probably
made it mid-table. We still finished 8th.
Yeah.
Basically, would have been in the same position.
in the same position. But we weren't ready to do that as a club.
Fans didn't have the patience. Because remember, when Man United come along, it was the whole Solskjaer versus... Was it El Sacchio?
El Sacchio, yeah, that's it. El Sacchico.
I don't know who ended up with a better deal at it. Well, no, we did because
Conte came. Yeah, Conte came. We needed that. And that was everyone
That was a
celebrated.
pivotal moment.
We celebrated 4th. Let's not lie. We did celebrate 4th.
Yeah, we did.
This is what everyone forgets, right? Everyone talks about how bad Conte's football was in that second season, right?
Yeah.
Everyone forgets how good the football was.
It was.
Once Bentancur
Even that last game against Norwich.
That was
phenomenal.
And like Kulusevski was trying to tee up Son the whole time. Because Kulusevski could have scored like maybe a hat-trick himself. But every time he's thinking, let me bring Son in. Do you know what I'm saying? But quick segue again, like in terms of like going to the stadium, have you man ever experienced like racism or like an altercation where, it could kick off, something could happen?
What? In the last, how many?
Ever. Anytime you've gone to either White Hart Lane or you've gone to the Tottenham Stadium.
I have, 100%.
What happened? Talk us through it. What happened? What was the scenario? What was the first time that happened? And we were like, raw, let's get on top. I didn't get on top.
Just things being said out towards players, especially like, I think one of the first times I heard it was against when we had Lee Young Po.
Yeah.
And everyone just kept on calling him Noodles and things like that.
Fuck it up.
Noodles. Yeah. Go on, Noodles. It's like, I can't get with this, man. Come on. It's just like,
it's
Jesus
mental.
Christ. But just things like that. It's just not either.
We've moved from there. Like, obviously, Son's the captain now.
And Son's the captain now. And look, let's not make no bones about it. It still goes on. It still happens on the terraces and stuff. It shouldn't happen. Obviously, I don't condone it. It shouldn't happen at any stadium, at any club. But it's the irony in it. The irony. I mean, Son being the captain now.
This is why I brought it up. This is why I was thinking.
You know,
like,
I just think
we've especially as a club, we've definitely moved on a long way since Lee Yong Piao. Because I remember a lot of people didn't like him. I loved him. I thought he was
I thought it was alright. Yeah.
Him and Steph Curry at the back. Oh my god!
Yeah.
They used to go forward. Like Martial had them on point.
Yeah. I remember the kit they were wearing when they were doing that.
LYP was
Thompson.
one of the best professionals I've seen at Tottenham Hotspur. That guy was quality.
Apparently, but as a person, everyone loved him. He was on point. He was so nice. No one had a bad word to say about him. It was literally, from what I heard at the club, he was such a bit like Son.
Yeah.
He was such a great person to be around.
Should I tell you who else was good at the club? And I know this for a fact. Was Gomez, the goalkeeper.
Oh yeah, everyone loved Gomez. Everyone loved
I remember
Smiler.
that guy. Every time I reached out for a handshake, a couple of times I was lucky enough. Shook my hand, and he was such a lovely guy. You know what I mean? But from what I heard from certain people as well, is that he was one of the nicest guys at the club, and he was one of the characters of the club as well.
Yeah.
Really, really good person to have around. But yeah, the octopus.
Spurs fans never took to him.
For him.
No, Spurs fans never took to him. So the problem with Gomez was, and I liked Gomez, the mistakes he'd make, right, in certain games, but everyone forgot how good he was in the others. And it's a bit like
you're only as good as your last game scenario, yeah.
But I believe that Gomez actually saved us more often than not.
Yeah.
Right? And that game against Arsenal when Danny Rose scored that goal, everyone talks about Danny Rose, how great he was.
Yeah.
No one ever talks about, right, until you analyze that game. If it wasn't for Gomez, we would have lost that. I think there was a save off of Van Persie that he made, and I remember Van Persie literally on the ground with his head in his hand going, how did he save that?
Yeah.
No one knew, right? But this is the problem, and I wasn't surprised that we got Champions League football when we had Gomez in goal for the first time.
Listen, I used to like Gomez for his distribution, for his throws.
Yeah.
He had those long arms, octopus, link it, like literally on the quick transition, you'd throw it out and we'd start attacks. So I really liked, I was a big fan of Gomez, to be fair. But I remember one time I must have gone to the stadium. Obviously, some person, they sit there at regular. So then obviously I've gone up to the stadium now, and then I've sat there and everyone's singing the songs, come on you Spurs, singing along, whatever. I'm joining in the chants. And then I don't know if Devin Sanchez, I don't know if he was on the pitch.
Sanchez, isn't it?
But like some of the fans started looking at me like I was Davinson Sanchez. I was like, wait a minute. Huh?
No,
you just get that energy. You're like, raw, hold on. He's like, what are you doing here? Bob's normally in that seat. I started feeling a bit hot. I can't even lie to you. I was thinking, raw.
Just getting ready to lace his boots out kind of pitch, yeah?
It's a bit techie. It's a big section there. There's quite a lot of them. I said, raw, it's a bit wild. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, like, there's brothers in the stadium. I know I would have got on top. But, like, it is what it is, isn't it? Certain times I've gone to stadiums.
That's so madness.
And it's like, raw. Like, you know that they smell you like, you meant to be here? Like, do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? I have to say, I've been quite lucky where any home game I've been to, I've been all right.
Yeah.
Not really I've seen it, not really heard about it. When I worked at the stadium for a while, certain away teams, I won't mention them.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I heard it, and it weren't even at a black player. It was at I can't remember who it was, and it literally threw me. I was young. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I've been to football when I was younger, and it literally threw me off. But to be honest, I'd say majority of the fans were quite cool.
Yeah.
Favorite ground that I've been to, and I felt welcomed, Birmingham.
Is it?
Birmingham City. Like, I don't know what it was. I went up there with my missus. We were dating, as you do.
Yeah.
But, it's kind of like, especially when you're in a mixed relationship, you get kind of a lot of looks when you go up north.
Yeah.
But actually, Birmingham was my favorite place that I visited. Everyone just loved it. Loved the experience. But yeah, when it comes to racism, probably the one I've felt most uncomfortable at would be Stamford Bridge.
Yeah.
That's where I've felt most. I've been there a couple of times, but
that's another one that I thought
that's where I've felt
the roots,
most uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I think we lost 2-0 one year, but even walking around the stadium and stuff like that. But at the same time, I got to remember they don't like Spurs as well. So there's that double. It was that
Double-edged, bro.
sword and kind of thing that when you
One
walk around,
hundo, bro. One hundo.
so you kind of kept my head down. But everywhere else I've been quite like I've been to West Ham, where probably people think I'd get the most trouble. But as an East Londoner myself, West Ham, brilliant.
Yeah, no, East Ham was calm. I went to Upton Park and it was like you got the looks, but I remember I was rolling with him when West Ham.
As long as you ain't wear the Spurs shirt, you're
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And he was like, "Nah, he's all right. He's with me." I was like, "All right." I was going to
you can't be a Spurs fan.
Get to the convenience store, and they were like, obviously, it was near the stadium, and they were looking at me, and they're like, "Raw." He's like, "No, he's cool. Don't worry, he's cool. He's with me. He's with me."
Because I think it's because most of the Premier League clubs you're not in remote places, so kind of. I think I remember going to watch my cousin play at Hereford one time, and I'd probably say that's probably the most hairy moment, and I was by myself.
Yeah,
and I had to wait for him after the game. But usually, I have to say, I'm ignoring it, I don't see it, but I've been quite lucky.
Stevenage, I think, has to be one for me.
I can imagine that. Them ones out. Hey, the sticks.
Stevenage, even I was getting looks as well because it was like, Jesus Christ, I just want to get the game done out of the way and go because it just feels uncomfortable, you know?
Yeah.
So that was one, and I think another one, like you said, Chelsea as well. The first time I experienced their fans like doing the hissing and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that
it just made me feel so uncomfortable. You know what I mean? I'm not a Jewish person, but I knew what it sort of signified, the reason why they were doing it and stuff. And it was just like, he shouldn't have a place in football, but he shouldn't have a place outside of football as well. But you know, I'm not. This is not me saying every Chelsea fan's the same.
No.
It's what it is, bro.
So many Chelsea friends and stuff.
It is what it is. I know that. Well, I live there, Chelsea.
Few people in like the section, like it's just it's crazy.
But
look,
go on.
I wanted to sort of move it on. We all know sort of there's racism still in the game, and we're trying to kick it out. And there are good things being done as well. And I'm thankful that we are still one of the countries that still, take the knee because a lot of countries haven't done
Spain.
that. A lot of countries haven't done that.
Spain, fuck that.
At least it shows that we're trying to head in the right direction.
Italy a mess.
Stepping aside from the whole racism thing, what I wanted to ask you is, obviously we got Ange in place. Before that, there was a lot of talk about Nagelsmann coming in. And this is to both of you. Like, how do you think it would have turned out had Nagelsmann signed and he was our manager?
Oh, wow.
I think we would have signed more better quality players if Nagelsmann had come in. I think he would have come in and gone. I think he would have been stronger than Ange. In the sense of, Ange's come from Celtic, right? And there's no disrespect to Celtic or the Scottish League because Celtic are my Scottish team, right? But he's going to have to come in and prove himself to who, right? We all knew we needed a defense, right? He came in and he said in a couple press conferences he wanted a defense. He got one player, Van der Ven. I'm sorry, that wasn't good enough. He's come out and said like he wanted more, right? But if Nagelsmann would come in, I think he would have come in. I think he would have come in with a bit more of an attitude to go, I'm the big boss. I've been at Bayern Munich. You're a small club compared to them. That's why Harry Kane's there. And
do you reckon that's the reason why we didn't go for him? Do you think that was like they said we experienced what we experienced with Conte, big boss, Mourinho, big boss, and they kind of like deviated from that?
Nagelsmann isn't even got a club, has he?
No, he hasn't. Still, all that
it keeps breaking down. So it's not just us.
Yeah. I mean, personally, whenever we've gone for a big name or a superstar, quote unquote, I feel like it hasn't worked out. Is
Nagelsmann a big name? Is he only a big name because of Bayern Munich?
Yes.
Well,
I mean, in terms of like
as well.
But Leipzig was our level, like at the time.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because we were looking at Nagelsmann.
But he showed he could do it at a club like ourselves, you know what I mean?
Hoffenheim, obviously, originally. But what I'm saying is a name brand manager. He was a name brand guy. And I feel like we do better when we go for managers that are kind of under the radar, that people kind of dismiss, they look past. Really? And same with Spurs. A lot of people don't look at us as a top 4 club or even a top 6 club even anymore. Do you know what I mean? I think
you say that, but I'm looking at Levy's record, right? Martin Yo, he didn't want.
Yeah. Right.
Pochettino was his third choice after Van Gaal and De Boer.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Right? So he just fell on his feet.
That's right.
And who else has done well? and then Andrew can't look.
All right, so you could say maybe Keith Birkinshaw. That could be like someone that. So my point was, we always do better when we don't sign those name brand managers. So I thought Ange
But
was.
Harry Redknapp was name brand.
He wasn't really though.
He
Was
was.
he really?
He
Because he was Southampton and Portsmouth because
but he doesn't. Yeah,
he
but
kept them up.
yeah,
Remember where we
It's
were in
not
the
name
league?
brand. Everyone knew who he was.
No. But where we were in the league, he was there to save us. He wasn't there to get us into top four. No way. I think he overperformed, in my opinion. Like I
No,
think
he didn't after when he had Modric and all them. He didn't.
no, but no one knew who Modric was. Like he came from Croatia.
but
he came from Croatia. He came from what, Prague.
Yeah, but he had Modric, Gareth Bale.
Gareth Bale came from Southampton. He was like a project.
But all them
He
players
was
ended up being.
Yeah, by the end of it, but they didn't know who they were. They weren't like we brought them as superstars. So
They were.
it's like you can say the same with Madison. Madison, people know who Madison is, but he's not like a superstar. Do you know what I'm trying to say? He was like he went to a team that got relegated. Like Modric, who heard of Modric? No one.
Yeah, true.
Bale, Southampton.
From Zagreb, yeah.
Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like Lennon was already was he already there? I think Lennon was already there. So
Lennon was bought from Leeds for $1 million, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So he came in to save us. That was it. Remember, we were after Ramos. Yeah, after Juande, we were literally struggling. We were struggling. He came in and he was known as the Allardyce back in the day. He was the Allardyce of the managers. So he was there to save us, to keep us afloat. And then he did better than what they thought. And then fans loved the football.
But he still wasn't a small name, though.
Yeah, no,
He wasn't a small name. Like, no matter how you look at it, he wasn't a small name. Yeah,
I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
It was a top four then as well, right? So it wasn't.
I'm not saying he was a small name, but he's not like. Look, you can say the same with Ange. Ange has gone to Celtic and won. Is Ange really a small name?
Yeah, because he's not coming from an elite league, as they say.
But remember,
Redknapp was in the elite league,
but he's saving teams.
Yeah,
small
but he
teams.
wasn't. But when you look at
that's like us getting
Portsmouth, he wasn't saving teams. Portsmouth were mid-table under Redknapp. They were literally stabilised every season.
But was he not brought in to kind of bring us to the mid-table or to somewhere around that level? Because all right,
but he still wasn't a small name. That's the point to the debate.
I hear you.
Martin Yeo came as an assistant, right? And he wasn't well known, and he hadn't done a job. He hadn't done a job like as big as Spurs when he came, and he was unknown.
Yeah,
Pochettino, right? Again, so he stabilized Southampton. If we think about if you'd looked at Poch's record before Espanyol, you'd have probably gone, unknown, but he was known again. So actually, when you think about it, it's not the unknown, it's that middle ground of being they have to be stabilized somewhere else, and that's how we kind of get them.
So what are you comparing a Redknapp to the manager Nagelsmann? Is that what you're saying? Because that's what I mean by name brand. That's what I'm getting at. And like obviously, every manager's like had some type of level, and like Ange, Celtic, Poch, Espanyol.
Let's not forget we had Andre Villas-Boas sandwiched in between as well.
Yeah. Obviously, he was.
By the way,
he was Porto, but Porto
was he not our second best though until Conte?
But remember, yeah, exactly. AVB was at Chelsea.
AVB.
He was.
I still remember that United win.
So that was kind of name brand ish. Do you know what I mean? It was off of ex-Chelsea.
Well, ex-Chelsea.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? Whereas Ange,
did well.
Ange is not really. But like, yeah, I hear you. I hear it.
The thing is, when you like we say it's terrible, but the win percentage of managers, if I remember correctly, Pochettino is top. Well, was top. AVB was second, and
I think Sherwood's there as well.
Yeah, and if you look at AVB's record at Spurs, it was better than everyone. Actually, the football's crap again, but he's Pochettino only beat him twice in points totals. Twice. I've all Pochettino season beat him twice, and yet AVB is known as a terrible manager.
And this puts the emphasis on style of football because
I think Conte is now above him. I believe Conte is now above AVB. I don't quite. I haven't looked
probably
at it well.
Probably,
but that shows you that did Conte do a bad enough job then as well?
Because obviously Conte got top four, and then when he left,
I think
was
the point.
fourth.
Yeah, you're right.
So as much as people like shame and like put mud in his face and whatever, he still got us to a certain level. He put us in the long.
But I think the fact that 63 goals is just.
But was that was after him? Was it not? That was
most of that was after him.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
there was a lot there. I think it was like 30 or 40 or still going in, but at least we were scoring.
Yeah. Yeah.
But look,
Go on.
yeah, no, I was just gonna say, look, 4 games in, we've got. I just want to look ahead now because we've looked to the past. 4 games in, we've got 10 points. I don't think any one of us expected before the season started, before transfer window, to have 10 points from the first 4 games.
No.
Unexpected. You can't tell me you expected that.
Depends though.
But
It all depends. Look at the teams we're playing. Yeah.
okay, well,
Away from home, our away
I would say
record
to you,
was terrible.
Brentford away, right, before we made any
So
signings,
I think everyone predicted Brentford to be 2-2.
Yeah.
I think everybody
Tough
predicted
game.
the draw. Right?
with the way United is,
Yeah.
okay, and the way they finished last season, everyone thought, you know
Okay,
what,
United was the one I'd go, I don't
they'll
expect.
turn
it.
us over.
Yeah.
Didn't expect it.
Burnley, because of the way they played last season in the Championship,
Yeah.
But if
Okay.
but then again,
And a lot of people wanted my man.
company as well.
But the way that Burnley have started, I'm sorry, but even last year's Spurs team would have still
And then you
managed
got
to beat them. Because
Bournemouth as well. You got
Bournemouth was the
who
one
gave
I-
us
yeah.
terrible time last season.
Okay, Bournemouth was the only one I went. But if I looked at them games on paper, right, Burnley and Bournemouth, even last season, I'd have expected wins. Man United is the only game I look at it and surprise me.
Would you have expected 10 points from the first 4 games?
It's that Man United game sandwiched in.
Okay.
We're about to fight 3
So
points.
you would have
off.
gone for
You
8
could have
points,
got
basically.
seven points.
So we're probably 3 points better off right now because
Okay.
I don't know what that. If I look at Man United, look, we drew Man United last year and we were crap at home. And it was at home, so I look at it and go, Brentford didn't surprise me because I probably went draw. Man United, I probably would have said draw, right? Loss at a push, but the other 2 games, I'd be expecting to win. Even with last year,
I think Man United surprised me, but I think the level of performance.
it's the level of performance.
And how we've basically adopted the tactics so quickly. Like
Because are you sitting there? And are you sitting there really thinking, right? First 4 games, and you had Burnley, Bournemouth, Man United, and Brentford. How many points did you realistically think we'd have?
So for me, I thought Brentford away would at least get a point.
Yeah,
I thought United would lose simply because we're just terrible, conceded so many goals last season. Bournemouth away was a tricky one. I thought we'd get a draw. And then Burnley, I thought...
we're not. So, but even going into last year, right? Yeah, I know Bournemouth beat us at home, but if with everybody fit, do you really expect us to lose?
No, but this was before the transfer, before the signings we had.
But but then I suppose we would have still had Ange. So predict.
But
I'm looking at where I watched Celtic, right? And Big Ange came in. Even with last year's players, I'd still expect to beat Bournemouth and Burnley.
I don't know, but you
'Cause
wouldn't
you're
have had...
expecting us to finish 8th, right?
I don't know. Yeah. Well,
So if you're expecting us to finish 8th, we should be beating Bournemouth and Burnley. So is it
The lower
really,
teams that
my
are
thing is it really a surprise? It's a surprise we got 10 points, but is it really a surprise how the season has started? Because if we played better football against Burnley and Bournemouth last year, right, I think we still beat them. Even if we played crap football under Conte, I think we still beat them. I think, personally...
I think before Ange even kicked the ball, before the transfer window, and before everything else.
Before you even knew Kane was going.
Yeah, true.
So
true.
Kane would have been... So when you were predicting, right, because you said before the signings, Kane would have been in your team. Come on. We're not losing to Burnley and Bournemouth.
You just I mean, if you look at last season, if you look at some of the games we lost last season, you thought we shouldn't be losing that.
Yeah, but
we shouldn't be.
We weren't losing to Championship sides.
I don't know. Well,
because if you're predicting,
I said the FA Cup, right?
But you're talking about FA Cup. That you got to scrap that because you've got to look at the games that we had. Now we beat Bournemouth last year. No matter how we
and
look
they beat us as well.
Yeah, but we beat Bournemouth at their ground, right? Burnley, we can't really say anything but they've come up. If you look at the teams that got relegated, we beat most of them as well.
Yeah.
Admittedly, Leicester beat us at their ground, but we still beat the teams that got relegated, and we were crap, and we finished 8th. So if you're expecting us to lose to those 2, you're expecting us to be relegated.
Not really. I just didn't expect us to be coming out playing the kind of football that we've been playing before Ange took over. I'm talking about before Ange took over, before any of the signings. Yeah.
But even with crap football, do you not expect to beat Burnley and Bournemouth?
You just the unknown. Yeah, but hold on a minute. Burnley, unknown quantity. Okay.
Yeah.
With Tottenham as well, it's a recipe for disaster because we don't know what kind of Tottenham is going to turn up.
Yep.
We don't know how they're going to play. Playing away from home. I don't think our record's okay at Burnley, but not great.
Yeah.
I know,
Okay.
it's not great.
So you just didn't know how it's going to pan out. It was tricky.
Turf
Brentford,
Moor kind of like.
But I'm looking at it. But I'm looking at it with those two, with Harry Kane in the team. I expect to win those 2 games, no matter who our manager is.
okay, that's fair enough. That's
No,
fair
no,
enough.
but that's how I'm looking at it. I'm looking at
that's
last year
fair
as
enough.
well, because how is Harry Kane? How is Harry Kane breaking a record and we're still winning games, right? In a crap team, but we're expecting to go to Burnley and Bournemouth and draw and
I
not
think
win.
generally from last year's shows that we did,
Yeah.
and the question was asked, how many points do you think we'll get from the first 4 games, etc. A lot of people said 4, 5, 6, 7. That was the general consensus of people last year. And, you know, I had almost the same feeling as well because of the way we was playing. We conceded 63 goals. You know, the football was
Was you
playing
being
with
realistic
turgid.
though? Now, was you being realistic because you're looking at the culture of the club at the time, right? And we all were there. We were all there, but it would have been a new season and it would have been a completely it was always going to be a new manager, right? So we knew that was coming. We didn't know who the manager was going to be, right? But we always knew it was going to be something different. But we didn't know whether Kane was going to be there or not. So I'm looking at last year's team, how we finished, right? And I'm looking at going into this season, and I saw those fixtures, right? And I agree. Brentford, I thought we would draw. Even with a good Brentford, I thought we were going to draw against Brentford. And that's with us being crap, right? Man United, I agree. I thought we were going to lose, right? Even before the game, I was a bit thing. But because we played well and Man United hadn't got started and they started how they did last year, was 3 points, you know, I'm 3 points better off now. But Burnley and Bournemouth, no matter away or not, come on. If you're even with the team last year, I still think we go there and win.
That's fair enough. But this moves me on to my sort of where I wanted it to move on to. Obviously, we've got the 10 points now. We're 4 games in. Is this a great opportunity for us now to sort of stay within touching distance of that top 4? Because our next game, we've got Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we all know we've got the litmus tests after that. We've got Arsenal away.
Arsenal's
and we've got Liverpool at home. For Liverpool, it doesn't matter whether we play home or away. They'll come and try and burn you, right?
Yeah.
But do you think this is a good chance to get a result against Sheffield United and try and pick up a favourable result against Liverpool and Arsenal along the way? Because the next games after that, you got the likes of Fulham, and you got other teams. I think you got Palace as well.
Yeah, because our run really hits us in December, doesn't it? That's when it really gets. We haven't got many games going, but do you know what? This is gonna be. I never look forward to a North London derby, right? But this is the first one, not because I think we're gonna win. I think my expectations of how the season's gonna go will be after that game.
So it hinges on that one game.
Because there's so much about that what Arsenal do where I will see if we're gonna be exposed. All the stuff that I was worried about when Ange came in should be exposed against Arsenal and how we're gonna cope. Like Porro, the high line and all that, because you've got Saka and that right hand side for us and left hand side for Arsenal. That's where that game's going to be won or lost.
Equally, they've got Ben White on the right hand side, so I feel like they're gonna try and invert him a little bit.
Yeah,
so
they will.
Yeah.
That
It's
moment
going to be so interesting
for him to get across quick enough, especially like if you've got someone with pace, i.e., Brennan Johnson, maybe.
Yeah, Brennan Johnson
or Son. I don't know. Like
I don't think Son, but maybe Solomon, maybe
because he's going to be on the right. Yeah, it's maybe Solomon. Yeah,
it's probably going to be Solomon. It depends how they do against Sheffield United.
Yeah, it depends. We'll see. Because some people are saying that Brennan Johnson's going to be on the left. Some people are saying he's going to be on the right. But I think it'll be the right to push Kulusevski. That's my personal opinion.
I heard it was going to be left from someone.
No, I did hear that as well. But I just seen from what we did the analysis. Obviously, for Nottingham Forest, he played on the right.
On the right, yeah.
The heat map shows that he was definitely on the right.
Dominantly on the right.
So, and obviously, if he's going to be an alternative to Kulusevski, he will go on the outside a lot more than come on the inside compared to where Kulusevski is a bit more predictable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, not to say that Brendan Johnson won't come inside because he does that because he likes to shoot a lot, but just that imminent threat on the outside overlapping, I think you'll get that a lot more. But like you were saying, Marlon, it's going to be interesting because Horror again, it's got the same problem as that Ben White situation. That distance between being inverted and then coming out,
having to come back out,
to the right hand side to kind of stop those runs for your Martinelli.
This is why this game is like, I think, so interesting on both parts. We'll see. I think this game will set a lot of things for both clubs. We'll see if Arsenal are title contenders, right? We're about to find out. And we're going to find out where we're going to finish this season. All right. And I think it's always after North London derbies that we always know.
So what
where
are you
we
saying?
are.
If Spurs, if Spurs lose, right?
Yeah.
Imagine we get punished. We get punched up. Is that Spurs' season? Like, is that going to dictate to us like where we're going to finish?
Well,
I don't think so. But you go on, I'll go on.
because the Liverpool game is going to come straight after, right?
Yeah.
And there's no other game in between. There's going to be no confidence, right? And we lose to Liverpool all the time, right? So if they come to Spurs and they pump us as well, it shows you where we're at. Like the Burnley and Bournemouths is the teams we're going to beat, but the big six, when
Not
they
there
play
yet.
decent teams, we're just not there. We might get a result against a Newcastle because of the way they're playing at the moment, and they've got more games. But Brighton, we've always been a problem for. I don't know why we're a problem for Brighton, right? But it's when we play the Villas at Villa Parks and stuff like that where we're going to have issues, right? But it's not going to be massive issues because we're still going to play great football.
Yeah.
I just think that realistically, we'll know whether we're going to be top 4 or top 8.
Yeah.
And I think that's where, and I think once that game's gone, I tell you now, if we go there and win, right, I'm going league. I'm going league winners. Right? But that's my problem. But that's why I said it's so big, that game, because if we were to go there and win, it's not going to be just my expectations that's suddenly going to rise. The whole fan base is going to go into overdrive.
Above.
Right? And that's why I think it's going to be such a realism when we go there. Even if it's a draw, right? I even think that's a positive result for us.
Yeah.
Because under Poch, he went there and drew all the time. And we then went on a momentum and started to go on games, right? But last year, it was the downfall of Conte. It was the first defeat, I believe.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Right? It was, because we were in a similar position.
Yeah.
Imagine that. And every fan had the same expectation, but we forget.
Yeah.
We forget.
Exactly. And that's why I've said, that's why it's going to be so interesting. And you got to remember, last year, up until the 60th minute, Arsenal struggled.
Yeah, they did.
Right? They scored a great goal from Thomas Partey, and we made a mistake. A recent mistake for that second goal.
And then obviously the sending off for
and then the sending off happened.
Yeah, for
so
Royal.
Arsenal did struggle. Like the home game was completely different. They completely took us apart. But that one at the Emirates, that was it. That's when our season collapsed.
I just think it will tell, Ange what he needs to know.
Yeah.
What
I think he knows already.
Yeah, he knows, but I think he needs to have these tests. Right? He needs to pit his team against these kinds of teams to be able to find out what he needs to do, what he needs to address, the tweaks that he needs to make.
You know, funny enough you say that, because I think as well, this was always my thing. When we come up against these big teams, how are we going to play? Are we going to play as open as we have been? Because someone like Liverpool will just tear us to pieces. Right? I don't mind if we do. It is what it is. But can Big Ange play against the big teams?
Yeah, will we fold? Because obviously we're attack.
Yeah.
Will we fold and become pragmatic? My thing as well,
like Celtic did against Real Madrid. That game has always stood out for me because they took Real Madrid apart for 60 minutes. Real Madrid had the quality, took them apart. I can't remember what the score was. I think it was like 4 or something.
And what do you accept that as a fan, that we outplay Arsenal, but then Arsenal come away with the 3 points? Are you more positive with that, or would you prefer,
as long as it's
Arsenal,
3 or 4-0?
Would you prefer Arsenal to like play better than us at their home, dominate us, and then we just sneak a 1-0 win? Do you know what I mean? What stands out for you more?
I think for me, look,
at this stage as well,
a lot of the fans are appreciating a good football, and I think obviously we want to see that good football. We've played crap against Arsenal before and won games. You know what I mean? A win's a win. You take a win, however it comes. You take it if we play crap. You take it if we play good. Doesn't matter. But for me, I think we just got to show that we have something about us as well. I don't know if Ange is willing to change it up for certain games, because from what I've seen, it's exactly the same for every game. He's going to go.
You expect Porro to start against Sheffield United and then go into the Emirates?
I think
Porro will. I think Porro's.
I think he's shown enough about himself to start. But like I said, these are going to be the tests that they need to go through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I said it before, when it comes to someone like Porro, I think it's easier to teach someone like him to defend, someone who can play ball. Okay, he has better technical ability than Royale.
Yeah.
I think it's easier to teach him how to be, aware positionally and stuff than someone like Romero, who's more limited technically in my books. I just think
Romero's limited.
Royale.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Okay.
look, that's
Go
not
on,
to say
Marlon.
Royale can't play.
Marlon's coming in.
For me, I think Porro. For me, right now, Porro's been quite lucky that he's had Romero and Sarr next to him. Let's see Porro with Skip and, well, not Sanchez now because he's gone, but it'd be quite interesting there. But the question you ask yourself with Porro, and this is always going to be the question, does he give you enough going forward for you to go, I don't care what he's like defensively?
Do you know what it is?
I don't think he's going to change.
For me, it's like that whole Trent Alexander-Arnold kind of argument.
It is,
because what, obviously, he gives you Porro on the ball. Same with Trent. Do you know what I'm saying? They give you so much going forward that you kind of like let it go from...
Well, we saw that ball to Son like last week.
But that's just what I'm saying. Like, for the first goal, that's Porro's fault. He had 2 chances to get rid of it.
Correct.
A good, decent one back.
He made up for it straight away.
But then he makes up for it with 2 quality balls later on in the game where you get 2 goals. So that's why
Can Porro be our Trent Alexander? Because the way he plays
I think he
can be that quarterback where he just plays him from deep,
and that's
those
what
balls
makes
and
it great. When you
switches.
said earlier, you can teach him out, but you probably don't need to, because the way he is so gifted going forward, actually, he gives away 1 goal. We'll get 2 or 3 from the way he goes forward.
Another sidetrack. Sessegnon, he's out.
I forgot about him.
I'm just throwing it out there. Sessegnon's out. But where does he play? Does he play as a left fullback? And then you seen what he's doing with Indoji, he plays in midfield and or do you use him as a left winger, left wing forward?
I don't even think he plays.
He's got
I've got a question whether he even plays.
Listen, I think Ange is going to name him in the squad. I personally think he will name him. I don't think
he's English, so he's
exactly.
in there.
This is why I asked the question. This is why.
But whether he's going to play is a different story. For me,
I think he's play.
He's too limited and he's too injury prone.
Where does he play though? I'm asking you. Where does he play? Left wing, or does he play left back?
I think he's more naturally suited to playing left wing.
I said we should try him there for 5. Like I always said, like even last year, I think we should try him for 5.
Where was he? He was at left
wing.
It was left wing.
It was Mitrovic.
It was left wing.
I can't remember who was on the right, but he was on.
Because obviously we've seen how Perisic has come. He was left wing back. Now he's come on left wing. All of a sudden, people are rating Perisic on another level. So I'm saying, could that possibly?
But you know what? Where I think Cess might benefit from. I don't think he will, but he might. Madison.
And also, but listen, I know how you feel about it because I can see your face already.
Yeah.
You're like, but hear me out. The argument was Sonny can't play with Perisic. Remember that.
Yeah.
But when Son was with Sessegnon, I'm not a Sessegnon fan, by the way, because I know his hamstrings just go all the time. I need someone a bit more stronger. Do you know what I'm saying? Pause. But I'm just saying the argument, for argument's sake, like you've got Sessegnon on the left. If he plays alongside another player, can he play in that left wing role? Can he do what Perisic is doing? Can he take his man on?
No, because with Cess, he can't take people on. What you have to do with Cess and with the way he plays, it'd be Harry Kane syndrome, where Harry Kane drops deep, plays deep, lays the ball over the top, let him run onto things. That's what his goal against Bayern Munich, that first game, was Cess. Mm-hmm. He's never done that since. Never done it.
Do you think it's because of those injuries? He's got like kind of like that limitedness. He thinks his hamstring might go.
In the back of his mind.
If he runs too much.
Yeah. If he can't do that, his game's gone. He's not even a Premier League player, let alone a Championship player without it. So if his hamstrings are gonna go all the time, it's pointless having him there. You might as well go get a Championship player to play the exact same role. Is going to give us more. And with Cess, everyone gave up on him last year with his injury record. Now there's just no point. But the problem is now we haven't replaced him. Like, let's be realistic here. When you look that, and this is where the club have failed for me, right? Our homegrown quota is awful, absolutely awful, and you can't run a club like that. It was all about youth development. And then I was asking a question the other week. Take Harry Kane out of the situation. 23 years. How many decent homegrown players have we actually had?
It's crazy, bro.
Decent. And I'm not even looking at Harry Kane level.
It's crazy.
Looking at decent, you look at Winks, Skip, who have come through the ranks, right? You can't count the Cole Walkers, you can't count the Danny Rose because they haven't come from our academy, right? We've bought them. So actually, the club haven't done anything academy-wise apart from Harry Kane.
Yeah, you're right. It's true.
right?
True.
And I'm looking at it going, if you look at other clubs, have they had other players come through at the time? Like, let's take Man United. McTominay, yeah, might not have been to the standard, but he played every week and played decent levels for them. We haven't even bought players in like that.
Even you look at the likes of Man City, right? They buy loads of players like a high, high transfer fees and stuff. But they've got Foden who's come through like the transfer, who's come through the academy, who's a baller. How much is
Cole
Foden
Palmer
worth at the moment?
Yeah.
Well, Cole Palmer's
Cole
signed for
Palmer just left
signed
as
for
well.
Chelsea,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They've got Rico Lewis.
They're quite
It works.
Rico Lewis as well. So even though they're buying some of these players, right, and they're bringing them through,
They're still producing the players as well. Yeah, exactly. But
and I think that's for me where the club have failed.
Yeah.
Dramatically.
Yeah.
Because
I
we
think
shouldn't be
so.
in this situation now where we haven't got a homegrown player that we can think of to not come in the team.
because even if you look like abroad, like Bayern Munich, how many homegrown players do they have in their team? They've got so many. Like they've got the Kimmiches and everyone. They've got so many homegrown players. But
I've got a weird question, guys. This is kind of football related, but it's not. Because it's a pod, I thought, why not? We're here. Have you not seen that program, that film on Netflix called Clone Tyrone?
yeah,
You see it?
yeah. I've seen
see
it.
that?
Yeah.
I've not seen it.
John Boyega.
Do you think that could be a thing, right? You look at like our Haalands for Man City, yeah? Do you ever think there could be like clone footballers in the future or like an AI, like where you've got coaches, got like, algorithms predicting where players should be, and then they've got that in their earpiece, they're saying it, and then these men have got earpieces as well, and they're talking like,
Different question though.
God.
If you could clone one player in all football, right, we've seen over the years.
That's easy.
Oh.
That's easy. Ronaldinho.
Yeah, for real. Nah, I rate that.
Ronaldinho, man.
I rate that, cuzzy. Hey,
God, man.
Ronaldinho, yeah,
Come on,
why not?
man.
Ronaldinho, that's
Like,
great. Like,
what are you
the way
gonna
he
say
plays
that,
football's
man?
fun.
Come
I'm going to
This
tell
is
you
fun.
this.
It's fun.
Original R9 is the best.
Oh, no, sorry.
For best.
Sorry. That's my guy, you know.
R9.
R9's the
Me.
GOAT. He's the real guy.
He made me switch football boots.
He made
true,
same.
true.
I used to
Same.
not wear Nike.
Same.
Wouldn't
Same.
wear Nike.
Same.
Right?
Same.
I then remember that all of us, because on that pitch, all had R9s
Listen.
on, thinking we were going to
Listen.
the next Ronaldo.
He made me want to play football. I'm
Man, even
gonna lie. I'd watch
it's
it.
to Pirelli, innit?
Yeah, I wouldn't for R9. I would have done. I'd have done
Literally.
anything for R9.
No, brother. I watched
Yeah,
him, and I
R9 was a
listen,
legend, though, man. He was sick.
Crazy.
Like, don't get me wrong about the Messi's and Ronaldo's.
But remember, no. Listen, Ronaldo was before Ronaldinho, and he was the first man I saw do steppies to
Yeah,
put a keeper on his
100%.
back, on his bum, like a beetle, like a gal. Them got their back up like that. That's what he did to keepers, you know. I don't know. You don't see that no more.
I call it.
Striker.
He's the original Theo Walcott, by the way.
No, listen.
He was called up to the Brazil '94 squad at 17.
Oh yeah, that was
and didn't
disrespectful.
play a minute.
Disrespectful,
But look where his career compared to Walcott.
you know what? As a 19-year-old, he's got the most goals, more than Mbappe, Haaland, all of them. He broke all records. Obviously, the knee injury, that's what stopped it. Because everyone's like, but look at his record compared to Ronaldo, Messi. Nah. Remember, before that knee injury, he was doing mad numbers.
Yeah, he would have smashed it. I think if he was injury free, he would have smashed it.
No, he would have smashed
Absolutely,
it. Definitely.
man, absolutely.
But like, just literally watching him, the eye test, like that, like.
But guys, for me, like from aesthetic point of view, right, from enjoying the game, watching someone with such ability on the ball, right, technical ability, for me, there is no one like Ronaldinho. Yeah, Messi.
I love Ronaldinho.
I love
Messi
him.
is
I
sick.
love him.
Everyone's good. I get what you're saying.
No, but-
Ronaldo had that fear factor.
No, not even that though. But like Ronaldo, for me, I never seen a man do a snake before. Because remember, he was before Ronaldinho.
True.
He's a striker. What striker do you know doing snakes? Like doing a flip flap on the like. He's doing things like where he's treading on it and then he's flicking it back that way, putting it through man's legs. Oh, right, obviously, I get what you're saying, the fear factor, because you remember that scene where Bobby Robertson's holding his head, he's doing that. Oh, my Lord.
Madness.
That one was when he burst through two men like a Drogba. Boom! Ran through on goal, like ran through the whole team. Like, there's goals like that, but I'm talking about when he was at Inter Milan and he's just literally on the ball, manipulating the ball. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, he was doing things what Ronaldinho was doing, but he's the striker.
Yeah.
He's not even a playmaker. He's a strikers aren't meant to be doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'm used to like an Ian Wright. You know what I'm saying? A Shearer. You know what I'm trying to say? But he's doing the most as a centre forward.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. He's
Like even Real Madrid when he even busts his knee, he's still banging goals outside the box. Calm.
I've got another question before we wrap this up, right? And I want our audience to answer this as well. So we've answered the one of the world.
Yeah, go on.
Without no explanation.
Go on.
All right, as the last question before we go.
Yeah.
if you could clone one Spurs player to come back, who would it be?
I'll add to that, but go on.
It's a tough one, you know. We've
And
had
we're
so
talking
many.
Let's talk Premier League, but you can
Yeah,
only
Premier
pick
League,
one.
Premier
No
League.
explanation.
Premier League. One player, yeah?
One player, clone. Who would you take?
I'll take Ledley King, man.
That's a good one. Ash?
That's a tough one, man. My head's... For what we need right now, is a right wing forward, in my opinion.
He's going. I know where he's going. You're going for the Welsh Wizard.
Come on, Gareth Bale. Come on. Imagine we had Gareth Bale on this team.
You know
Like,
what?
last minute, it's tight. Can't get past the low block, outside the box, left foot, boom, top corner, bottom corner. Like it's like dribbling with the ball, like crazy pace, power, precision. Like even when he came back to the second season, and he was a shell of himself. Let's face it, he wasn't the same man.
Still got
Still got-
16 goals.
Crazy. Huh? That foot is a wand, but in his peak, he made me jump off my seat. He was doing like,
facts.
listen. He was on that level where people were arguing Suarez is the best Premier League export. Nah, it's Bale. Like he was in that conversation, bro. He's what made like neutral fans rate Spurs. Like as a neutral, people were like, not like how people rate Brighton. Bruv, they're talking about Spurs like that. That's their second team. Do you know what I'm trying to say? We all had second teams. I know you lot had second teams.
Not Premier League.
Right, I won't go there, but like certain times our second team, like last season, would have been our first team secretly. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah!
We're not Gavin. We're not Gavin.
Or there's certain times where Spurs lose and you don't want to pick up the phone because, you know, you're too emotional.
So, so Ledley was probably one of my favourites. I do think Gareth Bale, right? I was between Modric and Ginola, but if I'm being completely honest, right, I'm going to go with the boring one that most fans will say. I want original Harry Kane. That first year of Harry Kane back in this team where he was running, and that's the person I'd clone. I'd go back just before the Mourinho cloned
For
it.
me,
Because I don't want him to drop deep. And that's
for me,
and I think that would be the last piece of this jigsaw and would get this team going.
I'll just go back into it. The only reason why I would say Bale over him is because the excitement.
Oh, of
like,
course.
don't,
need
don't get me wrong.
Got something.
Kane in the
And she
box.
relies on wingers as well.
Kane in the box, like, all right. Kane in the like, name me your top 3 goals for Kane. Just go. Compare it to Bale. Compare it to Bale's.
Two all draw against Arsenal at White Hart Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stoke
we're
away
going in.
when
Yeah.
we won. Was it 4-0? There was a Kane goal. It was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
And then Man City away the header.
Right then. Now let's look at Bale.
Yeah, but
All right. Let's look at Bale.
You're going
No,
to go for
listen.
great strikes. But
Huh?
that Man City
Listen,
goal,
I'm talking about Inter Milan Champions League when everyone just stood up and noticed him.
yeah,
where
but
he was
they're
that position.
individual brilliance. But that goal against Manchester City, right? That header. the reason
All
why it
right,
was so
I understand
good
the
was it's a team
importance.
goal.
I'm talking about
It's a team goal.
entertainment as football, as a fan. Do you understand? Like,
what
forget being a Spurs man now.
Give us a top
Because
three.
man saying the
Give us a
Spurs
top
man,
three.
yeah, you know, we meant a lot. We got Champions League, you know, top 4. Like,
Look,
I get it.
He's going to give you
I get
Inter, West Ham.
What's your
and
top- what's your top
South-
three?
Southampton? Was it?
All right, Inter's
Well,
one. Okay.
hey, listen, Stoke. It was Stoke. To be fair, it was
Stoke.
Stoke. It was Stoke.
What
When
was Stoke? Was it the ball on
Lennon
Zengen
put the ball over,
Oh, yeah,
and he
yeah,
just
yeah,
does the
yeah,
ball
yeah,
like. I said, "Wow, we got to play in our hands."
That was the Zenden goal, isn't it? In the grey shirt. Yeah.
No, he's wearing a half blue, half white.
Yeah.
Half blue, half white.
Yeah.
Against Stoke when he dinked it that
Yeah.
way and then he hits it, bang. Then I think West Ham.
West Ham, last
West
minute.
Ham, last minute.
Yeah.
Are you mad? You're on your seat, like we gotta win this. What? And then he runs over to AVB, like, hey, the emotion there, Jack. Listen, that was crazy. The energy was crazy. But I could talk about West Brom, where we play West Brom and he bangs it.
But you're talking. Look, if you look at all the goals he scored, apart from the Inter Milan one, all of them are pretty similar.
They are, and I love them all. And I can name more. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like Kane's goals, like if you actually look at the actual goal itself, I know what it meant. Like it was in terms of like importance. Like he came up and because a lot of people criticize Kane, obviously, like, hey, did he really do it for us in the big moments? That was the thing, because when we come to FA Cup semi-final, when we come to Champions League final, it's just those crucial moments. That's where we dig into Kane, like. And now he's come out and said, "Raw, like the pressure compared to Bayern Munich, compared to what was at Tottenham, is different." But what I'm saying to you, my G, is raw. Really, them games you're talking about compared to the stylistic entertainment vibes of, that's what it is for me. That's all.
But that's something we should let our
Yeah, no, I'll let the viewers decide, innit?
Yeah.
That's just me personally.
Top 3 Kane goals, top 3 Bale goals. If you could clone one player from Spurs, who would it be? And if you could clone one player
In the Premier
world,
League era, though. In the Premier League
clone
era.
one player in the world, Premier League era as well, to come and play for Spurs, who would it be? But it's been emotional.
Yeah, I think we need to wrap it up with a big thank you to everyone as well.
Yes,
because,
yes.
1K, on to the next.
Whoop.
View from the South Stand TV at Southview Quiz. It's for you, the fans, you, the subscribers, hopefully many more. And we're out.
I was keeping an eye on the time there. So I was like, I know it's 2 hours there.
Welcome to